Cowlazars, 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 Cowlazars. Cowlazars, Cowlazars, come on, let's have some adventures. We'll spend days, we'll spend weeks, we'll spend months working our way through treasure hunts. Cowlazars, 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 Cowlazars. Mike drinks coffee a ton, feel free to send him some. Cowlazars, 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 Cowlazars.
All right, everybody, it is Thursday, October 17th. The search season is over, and if you think it's not, you're wrong. We're live because Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific is coffee. You got your coffee, Kate, bro?
Oh, wait, I have my coffee cup. Oh, and it's green, so it's going to be kind of...
Yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. Wow, look at that. Okay, coffee with Kate, bro, and Cal. So thanks for joining us, everyone. How's everybody in the room doing tonight? We've got Davio, William, Bill from North Carolina, Sonia, NC, I'm assuming he's North Carolina. AJ Rainville, how's it going? Kyle Capital, he says. I don't know what that means. Sassafras, Wayne Ross.
Bill saying kitchen sink time. Kitchen sink Kevin, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Otherwise known as kitchen sink Christy.
All right, how's the audio, everybody? I'm using the new headset again.
Loud. Why are you even asking that?
Well, no, I'm wondering what it sounds like for everybody. Three-Eyed Raven, Rusty Nipples are in the house. Pandora Spox, that's a new one. Bob Art, RR, going back to the beginning, and Rob G, Vicky. Sorry if I missed anybody, but it's only an hour show. So thank you for joining us, everybody. We're going to talk about not just the scrapbooks, but we're going to talk about what is Forrest actually trying to tell us through these scrapbooks, if anything. You got to put it out there. It might not be.
Well, and then you have to give the teaser. Then we have something we're going to try. And I'll just say, we try stuff, and it either goes really well, or it doesn't. And so tonight, we're going to be a little risky. We're going to be a little out there. You're going to have to wait till the end. But we're going to be a little out there tonight. Actually, Mike is not. Mike is like, okay, let's see how this goes. Crazy Christy idea.
Czar says, sorry he missed you. And he says, Mike, nice haircut. Yeah, I got the short haircut, guys. I thought I was going back in the military for a minute. So, yeah, it grows back, though. So does all this. So, what up? Shout out to Czar. Sorry we missed you, Czar. Next time.
Okay,
they're saying
and I
you
put
might
my microphone closer to me because Sassy is serious, saying I was too,
Hello, Andre. How are you? Davio, how are you? All right, so we just want to jump right into it, or do we got any announcements or anything first?
Oh, I do. Okay, wait. I want to make sure my volume is right for this. I'm going to turn it up a little. Those of you in AGK chat, I will apologize. I am super, super behind on emails, etc. I'm trying to catch up. Somebody asked if I could reach out to Susie Fenhaven. If you don't know Susie, she is a wonderful, sweet, really imaginative, wonderful tuber. She's in our Fenn universe, as we call it, or Fenn tuber universe.
You may know her as RF Hecky.
RF Hecky, yes. Yeah. And so some people said they were a little worried, so would I reach out to her? And I sure did, and I heard back from her, and she has some things going on I won't go into, but I will just say she wanted me to tell all of you that she thanks you for checking in with her. She is doing okay, and she will be back when she's able to be back. But that is just a little bit of an update, just making sure that we all know one of our own is doing okay, but has, we all need to step away whenever we have something happen in life. So
it's good to take a break. Yeah, it's good to take a break. It's healthy to take a break. Richard McKeever, how are you? He was on the marathon, remember?
Yeah, he sure was.
So yeah, it's nothing wrong with taking a break, everybody. And I think you need to. People need to. And then you come back and you regroup and you readjust. And maybe you look at a new solve. Maybe you don't. But it's good to take a break.
Well, and here's the other thing too. This is what there's a couple people right now that have told me they're not going to be in chat and they're not going to be posting to the forums. Mm-hmm. Because they just need to take a step back from that. But they are also the people that send me or call me or text me and say, hey, I need to just talk about this because they still have it on the brain. It's okay to partially step back because you really can't ever.
Don't mean, nothing.
Yeah. So whatever you need, we're there for you. So there's only so much time in a day, though. If somebody doesn't hear from me, it's not because I didn't like your solve, etc. If you were on Thor, you know I got a little trigger happy. I already apologized on Thor to that person.
Little hammer happy?
Well, somebody made a joke about a movie, and I was supposed to know the analogy they were making. And I said, if you ever, and so I just banned them because I thought it was a personal attack. And it wasn't. It was a reference to this little known movie called The Joker. I guess The Joker is out.
I'm going to go see it again. I saw it opening night. I'm going to go see it again.
Well, then you could see this post and you would get the humor of it. I didn't at the time. So I brought the person back. I apologize. We're all good. Okay. This is the cranky part of the season. So every single time you get a little irritated, just think, nope, we're good, no problem, and don't worry, be happy.
So Greg Keller says thanks for checking on Susie. Sassy says thanks for that. Bob Art, have you heard of Dulce, New Mexico? Yeah, that's where the aliens are. That's where the underground base is. You guys don't know this? In Dulce, I wonder how far that is from Santa Fe. But yes, I have heard. That's why I've heard of Dulce, New Mexico. Maybe there's something else going on there. Conspiracies.
Oh, okay. Greg Keller says way too many people connecting the latest scrapbooks to themselves. Maybe they are, but only Forrest knows what he's trying to convey. Might be hints, might not be. Keeps people talking. Oh, Greg Keller, that is a wonderful comment because that is going to be kind of what we're going to talk about. And oh, did I tell you? We have something really fun to talk about at the second half of our show tonight.
Yeah, we got something new we're going to try. We think you guys will like it. Davio says, I have been at the Blaze. Well, Davio, if you watched our last 2 shows, maybe his last 3 shows, you know that if you were at the proper Blaze, you should look down. The treasure chest should be right there. It's that easy.
It's right there.
And if it wasn't right there, well, then guess what, my friend? You're wrong. You had the wrong Blaze.
Well,
but don't worry, a lot of us have had
he
the wrong
probably
Blaze.
has the right place. Why did you leave it there, Davio? It was right there at your foot, like that doll, Chaos. Like, why did you leave it?
So I think he saw the Blaze, like he's walking along canyon and there's the Blaze, and he was so panicked he didn't want to look down. He's like, I'm going to turn around and back out of here. I'm not going to look for it. I'll be back another day. And then Davio says, why would you think that? Sorry, Davio. We're just having some fun.
No, we're kidding. We're just saying, like, oh, I think all of us, yeah. So, okay. I've been to Blaze Pizza, closest I've been to the Blaze.
We have that out here, I think, Blaze Pizza too. Okay.
Okay, I think
there may
it's
be
just
more than one
memories.
Blaze. Ross B. Well, there is an interesting theory I've not heard posed before, but I don't think it's right because if there's more than one Blaze, how do we know which one's the right one?
I don't think there is. There's a billion Blazes, but there's only one Forrest Fenn Blaze. I think he's just sharing memories because that's what we have of him. I'm just not really making a connection now here. And Kiwi Road, My Life Story, I watched your video, and I do have to say, and maybe I'm a sentimental chick, like between the music and your whole delivery of your video, and we're going to talk about this later, I really liked it, and it kind of made me realize. I also met with a searcher at the Raleigh meetup. If you were there at the Raleigh meetup or the Cary meetup, you have to know the man to understand how to solve the poem. And some people think so. We're going to talk about all this, but anyway, that's where we're starting is the scrapbooks because Mike, it's been a hot second, and ours is hot second. Some channels it's Rios de la Pinos. Every time I say hot second, William or Dan or whoever I was talking to, it's been a hot second since we've had a scrapbook, and I'm going to take a drink of my coffee when I do that. A hot
second since we had a marathon too, but we'll figure that out at a later time.
Well, and do we need to do a Detroit meetup? Do we even want to announce that?
I didn't think of. I don't know if we'll have enough time. If it's at Coney Island, then I say yes. So yeah, well, okay. You just let the cat out of the bag. Go ahead and announce it.
No, we'll do that later. We'll do that another time.
Right,
but
we'll
Detroit
do it at the end of the
people,
show.
I've never been to Detroit. I won't be able to say that in a little bit. Wow. Okay.
So the guy with the escape room in Detroit, we're coming to see you. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Yes. Okay. So so let's talk about scrapbooks because we have not talked about. Can you bring up 214? I think last we left you, my search friends, 213 had been out, and I think Finn clarified.
You want me to show the scrapbook?
Yes, please.
Okay. See if I get this
Vicky,
right.
You missed nothing. We were waiting for you. We've been sitting here in silence. Okay.
Till everybody's here. World famous gamer. How are you? Blue
if
Fox,
you like getting
Don
robbed,
Davis,
go to
and
Detroit.
CMC. Well, it
World
depends
famous
where
gamer.
you go. If you're from the neighborhood, you know where to go, where not to go. But I am going to take K-Pro to 8 Mile, so I'll try and get pictures. Okay.
I am so excited. Okay, so
John
we're just
Ehrlichman.
starting. We just did our introductions and everything, so let's dive in. So here's 214 because it's been a minute or two. And those of you that do not watch Cynthia's blog, you need to, because she has made it clear, her and Dale and Forrest and Tom and Karina, they all met up last night.
Last night they had dinner, yeah.
Last night
Should
they
I
had
show
some
it?
drink.
Should I show the picture from her vlog?
Show it, totally show
Blog,
it.
I mean, blog.
Hi, Donald
right.
Stevens.
Look for
Hi,
it.
world famous gamer. Ooh, I'm going to talk about you later. Your ears are going to be burning. Stick around. Yeah.
What's Cynthia's website again? Not that I don't know. Chasing Fenn Treasure, isn't it?
Chasing Fenn's Treasure.
I just saw it the other day. I mean, I just saw it at work.
Cowlazars,
Yeah,
did you know about storytellers? What storytellers? Are those the psychics?
Storytellers as far as the Native American storytellers? I don't know. We were talking about Dulce, and somebody just said that's a big Indian reservation. So if it's not Native American storytellers, no, I do not know what you're referring to. Okay. Chasing Fenn's Treasure. All right,
here's another one. Poker John is in the house. Mike, I lost a bet, and you won WSOP coin. I know who that is.
Yeah, I remember. I've been waiting for you to come back out here to Vegas. Let me know.
Yep.
And we hope to see you at next year's World Series event. Okay, I will bring up the picture. Here it is, everybody. If you haven't seen it, this is from last night. This is Cynthia Meacham's blog. Everybody check out chasingfenstreasure.com. That's Fenns, plural. And here it is. Everybody needs an intersection. This is from last night.
There's a hint. Go down a little ways because this is from last night. And click on that one. Because
the picture?
There was there was a whole exchange about, is there an intersection in your solve?
Right.
And so the super secret private hints. Go down a little bit.
Forrest is looking good. So's Dale. So's Cynthia.
Yes.
Now a lot of people are like, why is Dale going to Santa Fe? Well, they're just having dinner, everybody, and maybe they've got some super secret things, but they'll let us know when they want to let us know. So this is
wait.
Oh, I thought you wanted to see the pictures. Okay, this article's still in progress. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, go down. She talks about, let's get down to it. She talks about right there.
There it is.
Forrest mentioned there will be lots of scrapbooks coming, including, quote, everybody needs an intersection. He has written about China. Okay, I think that's funny because
it's obviously
but I get it.
About somebody.
And, quote, intersections a few years ago. I commented on this. Dale looked surprised. I asked Dale, don't you use intersections in your solve to the poem and 9 clues? Dale replied, no. I said to Dale, astonished, this is why you haven't found the treasure chest yet. Dale gazed intently at me, hesitated, and asked, do you use intersections in your solve to the poem and the 9 clues? I proudly stated, yes, I do. His retort, this is why you haven't found the treasure chest. Ha, ha, ha.
Well, that is interesting because Forrest said where the lines cross on a map, right? He said the clues are places on a map and where the lines cross.
I
don't know about an X, but that's interesting. So everybody look for a scrapbook called Everybody Needs an Intersection. We don't know when it's going to come out, but we think it'll be sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So it sounds like we are in store for, and this is why we have such an important topic on the second half of our discussion to really talk about, which is about the scrapbooks. So
look at that dragon. That's awesome. Sorry, I'm looking at pictures
you want to go through all the pictures?
Yeah, why not? The local patrons inside the dragon room told me stories about Rosalia, but no one knew the story behind the monkey hanging from the ceiling. That's a pretty cool place. And there's Cynthia with a dog, random dog that happened to be in there.
Cynthia is the most adorable person on the planet. Look at that cute little picture with her little green sunglasses, and she's the hugest animal lover. And I have 5 of my own right now, and I have
wish
to
I
say,
had a dog. The dog's name was Suki, like Tasuki, which was Forrest's dog, right? At some point. Okay, one of many of Rosalia's colorful paintings adorn the walls.
Hi, Tim. Tim Sims.
Rosalie and her dog Rex. And there's Dale and Cynthia. So
Yes, and that's so adorable.
Do these numbers mean anything? That's funny. So
42,
and there's
20.
Forrest. And then if we go back up, which is it here? Is it not here? It is not here. But if I go back, Forrest was actually doing an interview with Ripley's Believe It or Not. So she says the podcast will be out in 30 days, and the actual video will take longer than that. So new interview
is
coming
so
out with
exciting.
Forrest.
And so, like I said, some people are like, he's stepping back, he's going away. No, he's not. He is so excited. I think he's going to have a couple of other things happening.
That's
and
awesome.
So I'm excited. And Jim Sis says he's here. We're so excited to see you. And Greg Keller says intersections have multiple meanings, just like the words in the poem. The exact meaning is key.
And that reminds me of Tom Hanks in the movie where he plays Professor Langdon in Dan Brown's. He has that whole quote about doorways and intersections, about warm waters. I'll have to find it.
What's the movie? What's the movie name?
Darn it, hang on. I don't know if it's part 1 or part 2. Hang on, I'll look it up. We've talked about this before, but it totally fits the chase, and it's like, what? The movie was...
Okay, this is so down a rabbit hole. We've got to stay focused. I have some important stuff to talk about tonight. Content.
The Da Vinci Code, but I don't know if it was the Da Vinci Code or if it was in The Lost Symbol, which was the sequel.
See, Da Vinci
I'll
Code
look
and
it up.
National Treasure.
Robert
How can we walk
Langdon.
away from that? Oh, and those of you that didn't know, somebody asked me the other night, what are my kids going to be for Halloween? We've decided to do a Forrest Fenn theme. And we're going to be ridiculous. I just want you all to know. And that might be the first
A
picture
Forrest
you
Fenn
see of
theme?
our
Oh,
family.
that's cool.
Uh-huh. And so it's we'll just see. My son was like first saying he wanted to be a banana, and that actually got the
Wow.
idea. But then he's like Indiana Jones, and then he said a few others, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna have fun with this. So that's I challenge all of you to do the same. It's gonna be fun.
This quote is very hard to find. Like if you put quotes from the movie, it doesn't come up, and I can't find a video clip anywhere because forget about the monetization.
what?
Monetization, I would play it of what Tom Hanks said in this movie that relates to the Thrill of the Chase. I will find it for Monday's show though, for sure. If I can't find it.
Why haven't you
Yeah.
found it yet? This is
Somebody
like, come
emailed
on.
it to me once. Let's see.
Why
Warm
haven't you
Waters.
spent all day? Do you actually? Someone asked me the other day. Do you actually have a job? I'm like, yes, and I'm a single mom.
I
Are
didn't
you
change when I got
outside?
home, as you can see.
Yeah, so, and I did, but my son wants to be an adult and get a job. William, if you're talking about the son I met that night, no, that is not true, my friend. He is a kid at heart, I think, for life, just like you. Okay, so here we go. So can we refocus back on 214?
All right, sorry.
Let's
I'll have to
talk
find
about
it.
214.
I can't find it. All right, I'll find it for
Bring it
Monday's
up.
show.
Bring
It's really
214
cool.
up.
All right, go.
No, I need 214.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. All right, hang on.
Not listening.
Go. I'll bring it up. You go.
Okay, so here's the thing. So 214 is the extension of 213, so these connect. So much like I think 209, where he gave additional photographs, I think he's trying to tell us something with 214. So when we saw 213, it talked about the doodles, and there was no name attached to the doodles. And the leaf, well, it came out, or what I'm seeing is it came out. Now, who is that all about? Let's now dive into it. So have you read this scrapbook, Michael?
I have read it, yes.
What'd you think?
I think this is a really cool book that Forrest showed us when we were there in September for the Jamie Jordan raffle. He showed us the book. I have pictures of it, and I tried to find them, but I couldn't find them in time for the Tonight Show. I think it's interesting.
Yep.
It says top secret right here, so he drew a picture of himself. A likeness of Henry Kissinger. For a while, the telephone company experimented with picture phones in the White House, so that's cool. The White House doodles of John Ehrlichman. It's cool that there were 102, and he burned them all except for one. I think he says his daughters have a copy, but these leather-bound editions, Forrest has the only one. So Forrest, if you ever want to give that away, because I know your daughters already have one, I'll take it from off your hands. So.
William asked, is it possible that 209 to 214 all have a connection? We're going to talk about 214, and I actually do believe that, and I'm going to tell you why in a hot second. Greg Keller, this could be a callback to the legal issues investigated with the chase before it was hid, like the whole FOIA the investigation, and I agree with you as well. So is he giving a shout out to what kind of land that it should be on with this? Because we need to focus on, but here's one thing I do have to say. We have not seen Sean from the flip side in a little bit, who has burned a book. Sean has, and I think it might be a shout
so it's
out
about
to saying,
him. Oh.
Sean, come on back. And God, we have such great insight when you're back. And so that was the one that when we think about non-chase related things, that is exactly what I think about. Okay, so the things that I'm looking at is he talks about lawyers in this one. He did make I'm going to go over that in a minute. Here's the other thing. Has anyone been able to find this Diane Sawyer interview?
Oh, from the picture up here? Forrest, John, and Diane Sawyer in the library at Fenn Gallery. She just interviewed John for a nationally televised program. John refused to answer any questions unless both he and Diane were on camera together for fear that the question would be changed before broadcast, and it would look like he was answering a different question. I haven't looked. I'm assuming you have, and have not been able to find it.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. Well, we're going to talk about this in a minute. Is there a there when we can't find something that's in his book? Is he daring us to find something? And does that mean that there's something there? I don't know. So, okay. So that's as much as I have in 214 before we dive into what is the theme between 209, 210, 211, 212, 213, and 214, and all of the updates. We have had an update in 209. We've had an update in 211. We've had an update in 214. Did you know that there are two versions of each of those scrapbooks? Did you all know that in this chat room? Did you know that there are two versions of at least 209, 211, and 214?
When you say two versions, that's because Forrest went and updated it. So the old version is no longer available, right?
Correct.
In other words,
so
you can't see the old version. Yeah.
Forrest gave Dale a correction or update, and Dale has updated at least 3 of these 6 scrapbooks.
And that's, maybe Forrest missed something, or when somebody pointed something out, he's like, oh, okay, then I'll correct it. I mean, I don't see or you're saying you think Forrest did it on purpose to see if people would catch it, and then he corrects it when somebody.
No, I'm going to actually go the other way.
Oh.
If he corrects something, that means that's probably something he didn't want us focused on.
Oh, I see. But the
so
errors
let's pull this
that
down.
are left are intentional, and we're supposed to. I see.
Exactly.
Okay, so what is the error in this one? I know about lines, right?
Okay, go up, and I haven't confirmed this myself, but I saw it, and I'm going to give a shout out to Harry's. Go down a little bit, and I have to give a shout out to Sasha that put this on Harry's. If you look at right where the cursor is, where it said Sadford, Arizona, she put up within a few minutes. I posted that the scrapbook was up, and she said, Sadford is not in New Mexico. It used to say New Mexico.
Who said this?
She said, Sasha.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So, and she is really good at analyzing the scrapbooks. My goodness. And she said, Sadford is in Arizona. That's where the prison is. And then she went into some detail about it. She said, but there's no Sadford in New Mexico.
And this is not one of the things he updated, apparently.
That is exactly what he updated. What do you mean?
Well,
it used to say Sadford.
Oh, New Mexico. Oh, I got you. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you. I got confused.
So
okay.
do I think that that's an unintentional hint and he doesn't want to misguide us because that's not what Forrest Fenn does because we're all already confused enough? Yep.
So what is in here that he didn't change? Do we know?
Okay, hold on. Do you want to hear a few other things that he did change?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so go to the word, the lawyer. Okay, when did he die? Somebody noted, and I haven't confirmed all of these, and I'm sorry, I do have to say these came from Harry's. Harry's, God, you got to get over to Harry's forum because they really get into the little nuances. It said that this guy died at 74. He actually died at 73. That has not been corrected, I do not believe.
Oh, how do they know? Well, I guess Wikipedia. What else
they go and they look it up.
In 1999, John died from complications of diabetes. He was 74. All right, let me look it up, see what it said.
Okay, go look it up. Because I have another one after you're done with that one. I have another one from my search peeps.
So he did die in 1999. Yeah, I mean, maybe. So I don't think it's a big deal. If you know what I mean,
Okay.
I don't think that's a big deal. But that's just me. All right,
I
go
said
ahead.
staffer could have been a simple old age mistake. Wrong state, no biggie in my opinion. Same with the death of the lawyer. Okay, there's a second one, but I'm going to go into some others in a minute. That one or two, maybe, I don't know. He was fired from the White House at 73. Ooh, okay. This is all yeah, okay, yeah. The lawyer, it was his name Wine or Wines. There's an S. When we talk about warm waters and
right.
halts, is the S important?
Right. Well, actually, when I look it up, there's a hyphenated name, but that he says in here because she's married now with some other name. So what was it? It says Jill Wine Banks.
It's
Jill Wine dash Banks. Yeah, right. Is an American lawyer who's one of the prosecutors during the Watergate scandal. So it's Wine dash Banks, Banks. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay, and then the Diane Sawyer piece that's out. Okay, so that's that one. And we know in 213 he didn't say who was on the leaf, and now we know who is on the leaf. Then let's go to 211, and we know that the mirror
Scrapbook 211
was, yes. What other 211? I'm sorry. What other 211 would it be?
211. Okay.
Let's go to 211 today when we were talking, Mike, on text. I don't know, like what other 211?
Okay.
Which originally this was posted as the driver's side review mirror, and it's obviously the passenger side.
I like how it
and
says
that
broken
was,
mirror. Okay.
Yes, which that was corrected. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not saying these are huge things. Let's go to, if you look at 212, some people have noted this. I'm just trying to give a compilation. I will tell you, none of these truly came from me. I've just been looking at the forums, just trying to get my thoughts amongst. When they talked about the Denver Museum, when he talks about the Denver Museum, he doesn't name it like he normally has named it. Is there anything to that? I don't know. So the name of the Denver Museum, you need to go down.
Which, okay. Arthur Roubloff.
Yeah, keep going down. Hold on.
Oh yeah, I got an email about this after.
Yeah.
The Natural History Museum in Denver. Right.
Yes.
So what I heard is that used to be the old name of the museum, and they've changed it to the current name. That's what somebody told me. Now, is it true?
Is that important?
Well, they were just emailing me to point it out. Yeah, is it? Is it important?
I have too. I've gotten the same thing. So I throw that out. Okay. So let's take this down now.
Blue Fox says the last few scrapbooks seem to be about something losing their cover. Is the chest soon to be revealed in all its glory?
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. The scrapbooks of Diggin' Gypsy with the F100 was originally a Ford Galaxy. See, another aberration. MEH says, hello, MEH. Hi, Michael. In 206, he said, my wife's lives in Indonesia, lives. Yeah. In Indonesia, and in fact, she lived in Singapore. These are just honest mistakes.
Yeah,
There's no way he lived. Okay. Well, we have to at least explore it before we throw it out, throw it aside. Okay. Well, if no one wants to hear all the aberrations, just like Once Upon a While, why are there 2 revisions? Is it for no reason other than just, he was just
he added Dizzy Dean, right? So, and then what I find interesting is in the one scrapbook we just looked at, when he says he's drinking the beer and the lawyer says you might have a problem, he says he balked. Balk is a baseball term. When the pitcher balks. So I thought that was a tie-in to Dizzy Dean, so I thought that was interesting. But there's so many of those things. I mean, there's so many of those things that it could be. I just don't think even if Forrest is trying to convey a message, we're going to get it unless he just explicitly comes out and says it, like he did with Terry Scant with Marvel Gaze. Because we're going to go in 18 different directions, more like 180 different directions.
Right, but one of us is going to figure out that word that is key. So, okay,
maybe.
So I'm throwing out, and I will say a lot in the room are saying, no, we're like going down the wrong rabbit hole. This is one of 3 theories I have. So the first theory was, should we be looking at the aberrations? And he's giving us some examples to then go and jump into WWWH and TTOTC and all of that. You guys don't like that idea. Maybe I need to get into 3D Vaughn says you look spiffy. Are you on a job interview?
No,
he
comes
directly from work sometimes.
Yeah, I got hung up at work, so yeah. That's all.
Okay, So the second one is colors.
Oh, Digital Treasure Map says Dale and Cynthia don't meet up with Forrest for no reason, so people think something's going on. I don't know.
I will tell you, I believe, okay, this is what I believe. I believe that Cynthia meets up with Forrest occasionally, and Dale meets up with Forrest occasionally when he's down there. And I think it's always, or at least predominantly, and I don't talk to Dale, so I don't know. I think it is Chase related when there's press and things like the Playboy interview. And I think now that Cynthia's gone north, I think those two get a talking. And I think Forrest is the fly on the wall of the group.
That could be. Forrest gets all the gossip from them too, I bet you. How much personal connection does Forrest have with our locations? When you say our, you mean our search area locations? None, unless you're in the right area. I don't understand the question. Zero would be my question.
Kiwi, you now can see that I don't talk to Mike a lot with the people that I talk to.
Oh, so. I didn't know you two had talked about. So I don't know what locations you're referring to.
We'll talk later.
But I will remind everybody to thumbs up the video if you like the content, and just super chats on because we're allowed to do that. So yeah, my opinion, and you were going to say colors in the scrapbooks?
Yeah, so he changed the color on the Oreos with Olga.
Right.
And there has been colors.
The color of the tea. Color of the tea.
The color of the tea, and there has been colors in several of the scrapbooks. Not all of them, but several of the scrapbooks. Is he trying to point us to colors, which is that something that we need to be looking at? That's my second.
Maybe because there are colors in the Thrill of the Chase, and so when he puts different colors in a scrapbook, that's a possibility. Thanks, Greg Keller. If only everybody would do that. He says he just liked the video because I told him to.
Oh, if I just did that in life, you would be a happy fella.
William says if Forrest wants to get information to the community, that Dale and Cynthia would be a good vehicle. I agree with that. That's true.
Yep.
So did he call them to Santa Fe to have some kind of super secret meeting? I don't think so, since Cynthia just put it on her blog. Hey, we're here having dinner with Forrest. It's not some super secret meeting, everybody. You know what I mean?
Well, and Dale said, I'm heading to Santa Fe. I'm not going to be able to update with all the scrapbooks that are coming. I think it's a shout out to say, hey, everybody, focus on these scrapbooks, focus on content that's coming out. I think he's obviously meeting with different press. I think he's saying, woohoo, we are going to get lots of content, which is awesome. I think it's fabulous. Okay, theories on the increased frequency of the scrapbooks. Oh, Marty, this is like the perfect segues. I did not do this intentionally.
That's a good question. Why has Forrest all of a sudden come out with 5 scrapbooks in the last week?
Wait, can I go over my last theory before you guys all throw it out? No, I went over the colors.
I thought you were going to point out specific colors in the scrapbooks. No?
No, because everybody's already poo-pooed. They poo-pooed it. It's poo-pooed. Sorry, no. My guess is the meeting was for an interview and press, and they wanted to talk to searchers to be involved for it. Yeah, absolutely.
Blue Fox has got a good point. Are they going to be interviewed along with Forrest? In other words, Ripley's Believe It or Not was there, so maybe they went there for the interview. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. But then that ties into the scrapbooks, and you were going to say?
The last one is the people. I think the individual people that are involved. Is there any sort of connection in that regard? Yeah. He's getting out there when he's in good health. Sassafras said, I like that. And Chroma Key said, I told him not to say anything. Well, Chroma Key, he did the opposite. So that tells me what, I don't know.
Sassy found the YouTube clip. Let me see.
Oh yeah,
she did. One. Yeah. I don't know if I can play it. I don't know.
Play it. We'll lose monetization, but that's not what we're about. Right, just focus on. Okay, here we go.
Wait, I got to find the right one because I don't see where this is it. Oh, is this it? Okay, hang on.
They're
all right,
planning
everybody.
a trip to a baseball game where they're eating hot dogs and drinking beer. Oh, that's coffee. Yes.
Okay, check it out, everybody.
Okay.
Hang on.
Start at 54 seconds, she said.
Okay, here we go.
The borders, right along the edges.
Ancient fishermen learned to sail where the warm water met the cold. The little fish would reach the edge of the warm water and they'd stop, and the big fish would come out of the cold water and they'd eat them. And the fishermen, well, they caught everybody.
All right, that's it. Let me go back and play it one more time. Listen, here we go.
Doorways.
Let's talk about doorways. Okay, borders, right?
Most interesting things happen in doorways. At the borders, right along the edges.
Ancient fishermen learned to sail where the warm water met the cold. The little fish would reach the edge of the warm water and they'd stop, and the big fish would come out of the cold water and they'd eat them. And the fishermen, well, they caught everybody.
All right, that's it. But there's so many things that tie in to the thrill of the chase. I mean, aberrations.
Have you
on the
read
edge.
the Codex? Have you read the Codex?
No, I've not read the whole thing yet.
I'm bringing you the
saying I need
Codex.
to? I have the book. No, I haven't. I just haven't read it. I switched over to Stephen King's newest book, actually. But there's a lot of things in what Tom Hanks said. The Borders. He goes to Borders bookstore. He talks about doorways. I don't know if doorways are in the thrill of the chase. But the edge, fishermen, where the warm water meets the cold. I mean, it's just uncanny. Well, but that just goes to prove there's so many coincidences with this chase.
Well, and so that was one thing I want to ask everybody. So out of the almost 200 watching, do we focus on the scrapbooks? We now know the scrapbooks are going to be coming out in full force. I think we're going to see lots of them. Maybe not 6 in a week, but we're going to see a lot of them. Mm-hmm. Should we be looking at, for whatever reason, to know the man all the way to super secret hint and anywhere in between? Should we be looking at these scrapbooks? Just say yes, no.
Well, I think we should be looking at them. I don't know if it helps you with a solution. You know what I mean? I think we should look at them for entertainment. I think we should look at them because we like Forrest and we want to know the things he wants to put out. But I don't think we look at them to help with the poem, personally. But then Greg Keller just says a doorway is a portal, and he mentioned portal in the Olga scrapbook. So that's pretty cool, too. Another tie-in to the Tom Hanks thing. So, yeah. Only some. Okay, so S says only some, not all. Some have hints, but sometimes a scrapbook is just a scrapbook. Well, but what a hint is, what a hint means to you may not mean the same thing for me. It's too subjective.
Right. Well, and so Vicky says yes, and then Jim Sis says no, and then Kiwi says it helps with perspective to get more of his thought.
And Gregory Colvin Garcia says there are definitely hints in the scrapbook. I mean. But then Captain Marvel says, does anyone know what they mean? And that's the problem. Let's say Forrest is trying to communicate something. Let's say it's true. How do we know what that is? How do we figure out what he means? I mean, to me, that just complicates. It overcomplicates everything. It's hard enough with just the poem.
Simplify.
Now we got to deal with, it's not simple. Whatever he's trying to tell us through the scrapbooks, in my opinion, is not simple.
Okay, so we've talked about Dale and Cynthia. We talked about recent scrapbooks, and we're going to talk about the different tubers in a second, but some people are able to find hints in the scrapbooks if they apply it to their current solve. Confirmation bias, that's actually the reason we should not look at them.
Right.
It's just confirming, and then because it's so obscure, like Richard.
And the problem is, some people think Forrest is communicating to them based off emails they have sent him over the months, right? Minotaur Moreno said that on our last show. He emailed us some things and said, look, I emailed him this day, 3 days later, he mentions this.
I need 30 seconds. I'll be right
back. So a lot of searchers, and I've heard from more than one, that think that Forrest is putting out scrapbooks related to the emails that he sends them. I mean, I can't say yes or no to that. I can say, do you understand the message he's trying? If you think that's true, what's the message he's trying to tell you in the scrapbook? I mean, he's talking about a book that Ehrlichman wrote with a bunch of doodles in it, but somehow that relates to you and your solve. Or that's for the lead searcher to go out and go do another boots on the ground. To me, I don't see it. I don't know. The other thing is, why would Forrest have to use a scrapbook? As long as something is posted on Dale's blog, that's there for everybody to read, right? Like when he says, I'm going to put it out there for everybody where warm water's halt doesn't have anything to do with a dam, right? So, if he wanted to convey something, why wouldn't he just put it on Dale's blog? That's the part I don't get. All right, now I got to be right back. Work's calling. I'll be right back.
Okay, so Inja, I have no idea what Mike just said, but I probably don't agree because Mike and I tend to not agree on chase-related stuff and poker-related stuff. Lori James, he had enough materials for a new book but doesn't want to do another, so he'll put out materials on scrapbooks. Lori James, I actually think that is exactly, he's been very clear. He was ready for another book. I think he's realized now at almost 90, some people are having an issue. We're saying he's 90. He's almost 90. That I think that's where he has some good content. And what is better than giving us some stuff in the off season where we're all a little grumpy and eager and ready and
Yeah, I
all
got
of
you.
that.
I got you. And
I
we put
exactly
in
agree.
the pay
He could
date
use
for
the
the folder,
scrapbooks
right?
to
Like we
point us
normally
back
do.
to the important parts of the book and the
Correct.
poem. Terry from Texas, I
But it's
agree
not for
as
the sale
well. I think
anyways. And
that's Terry that was on our
it,
marathon. I
yeah,
agree
it's
as
another
well.
job.
I
Okay, I
look at
got you.
some of the things that he was talking to,
Trying
like
to
some
think.
of the aberrations, some of the, I mean, when he talked about Olga and
Okay,
he
what I'll
used the
do is
color and it was the
I'll
wrong
give
color of the tea and the
let's
Oreos, it was
see.
like, is that
I'm not gonna
pointing
be able to look
exactly
at it
back
right
to,
now. So what I'll
and
do
now
is
I
I'll
don't know
see
if
if
that's a
Travis
hint
can
or a
look at
clue, but we
so
definitely know
apparently
that.
it says no files are directory.
Scrapbooks
I
are the
think it's saying in
portal
the
into
Jersey
Forest
Roadside can't get
thoughts,
to it
Kiwi.
for some reason.
And I
So
think
I will call
Kiwi
you
would
back, me
say,
or Travis, for
uh,
you to call back.
and there is another searcher out there that believes this, you have to understand the man to understand the poem.
Oh, that's
And I
SAP.
think
Okay.
maybe that's as
That's
subtle as he's
actually
wanting to
connecting to
get. Just
SAP.
here is some
That's
subtle
where it's
thoughts
saying no
about my
file
life.
directory, right there.
He is using the scrapbooks to help people with that, have it
Okay,
figured out
that
how
might
to
be
use the
Colleen
poem in
then,
the
but
book,
let me give Travis
which
a
is
call.
all of
One,
us,
one of
Vicky,
us will
because
call you
none of
back,
us have
okay?
no matter how sure we are, I think you're exactly right. But I think that's everybody if they're willing to adjust. And he has said that. So I think that is the he's saying to use his words, not the fake words out there. Yeah, I think there's, I don't call them fake words. I think searcher interpretations of words. Mine is a prime example. I think 1 mile because it was
Hey,
given
you
to
in a
me
position to look
and
something
I
up for
think
work?
it. Some people say I'll never use it because
Okay,
of
so
it. I didn't hear it
we
from
only
him.
had one
Yep.
of the before
I
it's
agree with you.
info
Okay. You
jobs
didn't
goes
hear it
out.
from them. I
And
can
it's
see
saying
why
no
you
file
don't.
or
And
directory, it's
I
trying to
have the
connect to
right to be
SAP.
able to say,
So I didn't know if maybe
I do
Colleen had
think
added
that
something
everybody's
or
entitled to their opinions, like
this is a
Michael
job we
says.
normally run, like it
He
always runs,
misspelled.
but it's
So
saying,
Richard says he
it can't
misspells
find
words on
something
purpose,
for,
especially in TTOTC.
but
He
it
has an
doesn't
editor,
get,
so how could he not? So I agree with
between
you.
the last
So,
payroll and now?
so is there, okay, so
Oh,
let's go
well,
back to what we were saying.
the KU got one to look at it, or
Wouldn't
does
you
Colleen
agree
need to
that
be called?
grammar knowledge is important? World famous gamer, I tend to agree with you, but I also tend to agree
Gotcha,
that
okay, thank
Forrest
you.
is a
All
maverick.
right, but
Forrest is somebody that wants to purposely and intentionally go against the system. He is not a I'm just going to roll with it kind of guy. So maybe there's something intentional about what he's doing. He's going to say, "You want me to put a comma there? I'm going to put a semicolon just to, tell you kind of thing." Where was the place in West Yellowstone that Forrest Fenn donated to? Tom Sawyer, I will tell you now because it is a rabbit hole I'm no longer exploring. Earthquake Visitor Center. From what I understand, he is the major donor that, and if you've seen that visitor center, it is
did
phenomenal.
you just give that out live on the air?
I did. I did.
Okay.
There you have it.
It's not a
Boom.
secret. Some people
It's
know
not a
about it.
secret, but it's not well
Yeah.
known. So,
But that is a well-searched area, I would think, right? I mean, a lot of people are up in that area looking, aren't they?
yes.
Yeah.
So there you have it. So there, I gave away my super secret hint that
Hey,
there's some
yeah, go ahead.
interesting things. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
there's Logic Chaser. So, yeah, shout out to Logic Chaser. Me and K-Pro both checked out his YouTube channel, and you guys should check it out. Logic Chaser on YouTube. He's got some
Do
good
we want to
videos.
move to that now
But
because
let
we
me
are
read
in
what
the
he said.
45-minute?
Yeah, we will.
What?
Let me read what he put. If there were hints in the scrapbooks, that would really get searchers closer to the treasure. That would give Dale a big advantage because Dale is posting this stuff for Forrest. So I think there might be general hints, but no real clues, and I would agree with that. Yeah.
Well,
I agree
and
with
do you
that.
remember back when, for those of you that have been around a little bit, do you remember when Jenny got weekly words? She got 52 up front.
Yeah. Yep.
And everybody said, "Oh my gosh, if there's hints in them, that means she is going to be able to take off with them
Right.
and find the treasure chest." And she never did. And so I don't think there's enough there other than simplify. Look at the big picture. There's something
Yeah,
you're missing that's key.
yeah.
I just don't think it says like Earthquake Lake. Look in the second row over and look at the display. I just don't think they're that specific.
Jim Sisk says scrapbooks are Forrest's way of saying take a break from the hunt and jump into this rabbit hole because someone's close and he needs to get them off track. I agree with the take a break and read some scrapbooks, but I don't agree with somebody's close, rabbit hole type thing. But I do think it's just Forrest has got information he wants to get out there. Not all of it has to be related to the treasure chest. Forrest is an interesting person that's been through a lot in his life, and I think he just wants to get this stuff out there.
Like if you've ever heard his stories, they're so much better than, I won't say better, but when you read something, it's not quite the same as when you actually get on and hear him. Like when he tells his stories, they're phenomenal. Okay, I'm gonna transition. Are you ready?
We got the new thing we're gonna do, right? All right, let's
Here's the
see
new
it.
thing.
OSO. Is that a real word? OSO?
Oso. Oh, it's like
Off-season opinions. Okay.
Off-season
It's like
opinions. So, do y'all really want to know what the it is? World famous gamer? Yes, we do. And now here's what I would like to say. So I know
That's
mine's
pretty cool.
kind of the same way. Like,
That's
here we
pretty
go.
cool. Okay,
like,
sorry.
okay. Anyway, okay. So here is what we had an idea, and it's not a brand new idea, but we're going into the off season, and the off season brings some times that we all need to reflect on things.
It's hell.
So,
sorry.
It's heck.
For some people, they really don't like it.
It's not the funnest thing in the world. So we have about 2, 3, 4 months that we need to focus on something. And one of the things, Special Agent Oso, yes, okay, Oso. And so one of the things that a few of the tubers, there's some new tubers out there. I think we have some long-standing tubers. Some of them have been around. Some of them are consistent. Some of them aren't consistent. And the one thing that I will tell you is there's over 30 active YouTube channels right now.
Related to the chase, to the Forrest Fenn chase.
Related to the Forrest Fenn chase.
With Forrest Fenn related content. So there's 30 right now, you're saying?
There's more than 30.
That have posted in the last week? Is that what you mean by recent?
I want to say 2 weeks, but then
Okay.
there's 1 or 2, like I include Flipside, even though I don't know exactly the amount of time. There's between well-known tubers and new tubers, and there's one tuber that was taken down, but he's back, etc. We're over 30. Okay? So and you have that. One of the things that was really fun to do is how can we all be ourselves, but then also bring a unique perspective, but something that can kind of join the community. Because I think the tubers have been the most public in maybe not being all of one voice. And I don't think we want to be one voice. I think we want to be separate voices because we're so unique in our thoughts. Mike, you and I think we debate a lot more off camera than on camera. But you and I, if we had 2 different channels, I don't think we would ever be of like mind on most things.
Right. Our videos would be vastly different, put it that way.
Yeah. So off-season opinions. We want to throw something out there, and this has been done before, and I think it was vastly successful. But this is the time that I think we need to start discussing as a community, what are the different things out there that maybe we haven't thought of, or something that we really need to discuss. So this is what I'm going to throw out to you all and see, and the you alls are the Kiwis and the Logic Tracers and a lot of others. And I've actually spent the last few days looking at every single video that is out there related to the Forrest Fenn hunt. And that's why I know there are over 30 channels. So I want to ask a question, and I want to ask every Fenn tuber out there if you would consider posting some sort of response. And those responses, no more than 5 minutes, that we want to get your unique perspective. Because here's one thing that I think is really important. And then Mike and I will come back next week and we will say, here are all the different tubers. And so you'll get to know the different tubers as well. And here's some interesting thoughts that we never thought of, because we're going to have our thoughts, but we want other people's thoughts, because that's what drives the discussion. Because here's the thing, some of these tubers literally have less than 10 viewers, but they're so new. It's not because of not unique content. It's just because it's the part of the season where everybody's focusing maybe on, how do I that sort of thing. So I want to throw out, and I want to go over each of the tubers that I want you to consider going and looking at. And so I'm going to give you the topic that I think would be really interesting to discuss. And then I want to throw out the different tubers that are out there. And if I miss anybody, please tell me, because I'll be more than happy to add you in.
If we miss somebody, just email us and we will add you for the next one for sure.
But I actually took time and went and watched everybody's videos. So I want to give shout outs to some really cool stuff that it's just great. This is why our community is so great, because there's such different people. And I won't call them out, but there was a person on Facebook that I've been going back and forth with, and has been sending me a particular tuber, and I'm like, who is this tuber? This is such good stuff. And he's like, that's me. And I'm like, I didn't know that, because his Facebook is actually his name.
YouTube.
It's different. So I'm like, I'm glad I didn't say anything bad, because your stuff rocks. So
and I'll throw this out there, sidetrack, tangent. Brian Gorley in the chat says, any other searchers in or around Phoenix interested in a meetup? I think meetups are a great idea. It's a way to share ideas with other people in the community. So Brian, if you want to, what you need to make that happen is a way for people to contact you. So I would suggest you create a Gmail just for the searcher meetup. And if you want to email that to us, we could put it out there if you want to. But yeah, if anybody wants to do a searcher meetup in their town or in their city, I'm sure me and K-Pro would be happy to put that out there. And, all we're doing is putting people in contact with each other. You guys figure it out from there.
Well, the one in Raleigh, North Carolina ended up actually on the outskirts of it, ended up having 10 or 12 people in it. So
and Logic Chaser just said, I'm in Phoenix. There you go. We were just talking about Logic Chaser's YouTube
Calhoun
videos.
Said, I'm next to Phoenix. So there you go.
Yeah, okay. Brian says, okay, good job. Okay, go.
So here's the question. What role do scrapbooks play in the chase, meaning the actual solve? And why has Forrest Fenn put out so many recently? So I'd like to see the variety of different thoughts based on this. And so let me give a few different unique niches that I think are out there. Logic Tracer is one that we just saw in the room. Logic Tracer has 2 videos out there. They're between 3 and 9 minutes each. The word that is key and WWWH. Those are the 2 that he put out there.
This is his YouTube channel. I'm not going to show everybody's YouTube channel, but Logic Chaser specifically emailed us and said, what do you think? And these are really good. The proof of where warm waters halt, authority on WWWH, and the word that is key. So check these out.
Well, and the people that really looked back at the Minotaur Merino, where it was like if then, that is the kind of logic, and that's why he's Logic Tracer. So
his videos are very logical. So check them out because I agree with what he's saying. So yeah.
Well, here's the thing: if you think you're logical, see if you agree with him. If you're not logical, if you're too much in imagination, he can help ground you back into the other side. So I really, really liked his videos. He only has 10 subscribers. How's that possible?
Right.
Because he's only been around like a week or 2.
He should have 100 by the end of this video. So check it out, everybody. If you want to. We're just putting that out there. We're just letting you know.
Yeah. So the second tuber, I will tell you, he no longer has a channel, but he has a new channel. It was called Octopus Dicks. It is now Octopus with Dick spelled backwards. There's been some issues. We won't even discuss those. I've talked to Octopus. We were going to leave those in the past, but he is going to get some good content up. And when he does, I will say before the issues that he had on his old channel, they were really good. So I know we're going to see some great things. He said he just put his first video up. You haven't seen a content video from him yet. He is somebody to watch. He's getting ready to go to Santa Fe. You gotta love that as well. So he had about 240 people on his channel before he switched over. So I think right now he has about 8. I am one of those. So that is somebody to watch as well. Another one is Christy Fiorello, Fiorello. Fiorello.
Yeah.
Fiorello.
Okay.
She
was on the marathon, and yeah.
Yeah, she was on the marathon. She was the one that did the sea and the parting of the Red Sea. I will tell you, I don't agree with her conclusion. I loved her thought process.
Right.
So I hope she
outside
considers
the box for sure.
Why do we care about this? Why do we care about these scrapbooks? I hope she considers putting out a video in the next week because we're going to want to review them. Another one is Treasures Galore. If you have not seen Treasures Galore, videos range from about 8 to 30 minutes. Did one on heavy loads and water high, did one on the scrapbooks, has almost 400 subscribers. I really like the differing thoughts, kind of walks around, talks about things. I really, really like it. Yes.
No, I was just going to say, so what we're saying is we're asking these other YouTubers to make a video and discuss why all the scrapbooks, in their opinion, why all the scrapbooks and why so soon, right?
Why do scrapbooks play a role? And I mean, maybe you think there's a hint. Maybe you don't. Yeah. You just need to know the man. Maybe stop looking at them, whatever your thoughts are. And why so many in the last week? Why do we have 209, 210, 211, 212, 213, 214, and 2 versions of 2 of them?
Now, if we don't mention your YouTube channel, you're still welcome to make a video if you want. But you've got to email the link to me and K-Pro. We're not going to know you made the video if you don't notify us. And what we'll do on a future show is maybe we'll discuss the different videos and the different opinions. So it's a good idea.
I think ones that kind of stand out, and if you have opinions and you say, oh, this one's really good, Okay, Kiwi's in here. Kiwi Road, my life story. Did a, and I will say it kind of put a tear in my eye. It was a very good put together, non-live, about a 5-minute video. It was really good on Forrest Fenn, and it was his father. I really liked it. It's very different than some of the others out there. So I want to give a shout out to Kiwi. Again, 22 subscribers. Why?
Yeah.
There's like a very few videos.
And we're just getting the word out. Because there's all the big YouTubers. There's AGK and The Flip Side and the Fenn Treasure Hunters. And yeah, we're going to mention them too. They're invited to do this as well. But Blue Fox just says that's a good idea. We need to attack these scrapbooks with a logical methodology. Right. That should help. Now, somebody else in the chat said, these other YouTubers are crazy. Why are you trying to confuse me? No, it's just opinions, guys. You can watch the video and make your own opinion. We're not saying these people are right. It might not even be a channel we like.
It might be a crazy person. It might be a crazy person that solves this. I'm going to tell you the ones that I'm like, oh, I was inspired by. This one I think's a little off base. And it's okay, blow me up. I'm no one, because all of us are no one except for Forrest Fenn. So that's my opinion.
Opinions.
Missing,
that's all.
Missing 1,000 Years did a video where he was actually out, boots on the ground, and you can hear the it was like hunters.
Oh, really?
Yes. So it kind of gets you a little bit of down home into, okay, when you're boots on the ground, realize the terrain you're in. And so I like the boots on the ground piece to it. Only has 35 subscribers. So would love to see a little bit more there, because again, boots on the ground. And when you're hearing the I've heard that in Kansas, but I've not heard that boots on the ground.
And the other thing is, there might be people out there who don't have a YouTube channel. Maybe they want to make a video to tell us their opinion. And remember, you don't have to show yourself. Show the book, like RF Hecky, Susie Fenhaven does. You don't have to show yourself. Yeah. A man in the park, he walks his dog and shows everything but himself.
Oh, he's coming up.
Yeah. So I think it's a cool idea. Let's see where it goes.
Susie Fenhaven, some people said how she doesn't. So she showed her face one time, but that's not the focus.
She did? Oh, I missed that one.
Oh, yeah. She was, because you don't watch them all. And I miss Susie. Susie, come back. Susie. Anyway. Okay. You shop, we ship. He is actually putting up Forrest Fenn audios. They are specifically Forrest Fenn specific, but clipped in a way to say, this is the story that I'm hearing. I really like his stuff because, again, we all summarize. What's the first thing we say when somebody summarizes? I want to hear Forrest's actual words. That's what I like about You Shop, We Ship. Only has 161 subscribers. I hope you consider them.
So World Famous Gamer, email me that. He's putting in the chat what it is, and it's basically he goes through the poem and he slides the lines. Email me that, and we can have a discussion about it. Okay. Jana, Minnesota says scrapbooks solidify where I am. I originally found where I am, meaning search location, from something in Too Far to Walk that led to finding things in the Thrill of the Chase that led to the scrapbooks. So that's kind of interesting because she's not crazy. We've met her. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. People find what they want.
She is crazy, and we've met her. She's crazy in a good and fun way. Yeah.
Scrapbooks help make you not second guess if you found your area. Maybe. Okay. And that's an opinion. So there we go. Make a video, Jay, Minnesota, and send it to us. I don't know if we're going to show these videos. I'm not going that far, but we'll definitely talk about it.
Well, no, because we have to get permission, et cetera. We don't want to go into that. But we might summarize and say extra shout out. Maybe we'll do a contest. I don't know what we'll do. We want to see where this goes. This was just a fun idea that has already been shown that the community really loves. So that's the reason that we're doing it.
And Czar, yes, this is the Rio, and this was before the World Series of Poker started. I was showing how deserted it is. So, yeah.
Okay, so the next is World Famous Gamer. Has 221 subscribers. Did a live show over 2 hours. So kind of like, it was all about language. And he had
the grid?
No, he had a dictionary, but also has done a little bit of what you do with Try the Wheel. There's some videos that, yes.
You know what I'm going to do is each of these YouTube videos, I'm going to categorize them into which searcher are you. So, yeah, that'll go.
But here's the cool thing with World Famous Gamer. For those of you in this room, a lot of people like the live chat to interact with. He did a live show, it seemed. I watched it after the fact. So, okay. So the next one is, This Isn't Finny Anymore.
All right, I've seen him.
So, yes, another one about 220 subscribers is getting going, and he did a controversial one that is You only need the first 3 clues. You don't need the rest. You're going to find it with the first 3 clues. Here is someone I don't agree with, but I like the thought pattern. I like you get me thinking. And sometimes when I say no to somebody, it makes me think, is this the one thing that I'm missing? Is this the one thing that I'm missing?
Shout out to Tim Sims. He ordered a Cowlazars coffee cup and got that in the mail. So thank you, Tim. And Jack says, lead searcher will not do a show. But Jack, what if the person who makes a video is the lead searcher and doesn't know it? Did I just blow your mind or what?
Blew my mind. You blew my mind. That is amazing. I can't believe you said that. That is groundbreaking.
More opinions the better, guys. Yeah, we're not going to agree with everybody. Of course not. But nobody's right. Like I say, just because you're wrong doesn't make me right. I'm going to get the t-shirt that says you're wrong. But I'm only saying you're wrong against what Forrest has said. That's all. I am going to get that t-shirt this weekend. All right. World famous gamer, good night. He said thanks for the shout out.
And Richard is saying, I'm talking about on your site. No, I have the Mad Hatter that says, tell me how great your life is. If you want an avatar that doesn't have you, you put anything you want. You do you. Oh. You do you, buddy.
And we definitely need to make a thread for Off-Season Opinions. And when people make the YouTube video, you can post them on in the hintofriches.com. Also, the Grand Adventure, Forrest Fenn's Grand Adventure on Facebook, you can post them there as well. And if you just email them to me, I will post them in each of those areas so people can subscribe to your channel and know what your opinion is on the scrapbooks. And we'll do this maybe once a month, come up with a new topic, and people can kind of make videos
We'll see how many. I'm hoping out of the 30 plus, if 10 respond, then we keep doing this. If not, we move on to something else. But let me do the shout outs on the ones that we know and love.
Yeah, let's finish.
Odia Soul, Shannon, you're out there. When you put out videos, it always makes me scratch my head. There was one on bathtubs in Colorado, and I had to go look down that rabbit hole for a while. She's wonderful. She's awesome. She has great thought.
She was here at the command center, if you guys remember.
I am so jealous. She's right. We're going to attack each other and have like big hug when we finally meet. Some of you don't know this channel, and you probably have never heard of it. It's called A Gypsy's Kiss. It's not very well known. A Gypsy's Kiss has over 5,000 subscribers. We'd love them to weigh in on this. Then we have Davio. Davio has about 300 subscribers. I will say he's in the room, so I'm not going to say this behind his back. He puts a lot of stuff up there and then he deletes it. So be live with him, because if you see him go live, jump right in, because you'll get some good thoughts. But he thinks he gives a lot away. I don't know. I'm kind of caught between yes and no on that. But Davio, we hope you focus in on what are scrapbooks about and why are there so many right now. So shout out to Davio. Illinois Ghost hasn't I think he's put out one video lately. I have heard from Illinois Ghost very recently. And I will say, I'm going to be so excited. I think he's going to be putting out some new videos, and I hope he considers putting out something on what are these scrapbooks about. JA Street has about 81 videos. These are ones that are known, but not really, or they're well known in the community. So that's why I'm going to gloss over them a little bit to some of the very, very newbies. So JA Street, 81 videos. Man Alone puts out a lot of videos. He's at about 400. Cynthia Meacham, she has a YouTube channel. She has about 330 subscribers. She's all about boots on the ground. She puts out when she has a dinner with somebody and boots on the ground. That's where they're focused. We have Ben Treasure Hunters, has a little over 2,000, has content, really focuses on a variety of different content out there, from the Playboy video to scrapbooks and sometimes has call-ins, lots of different things. Copper Dan was doing vlogs. He got into fundraising for a while. He has about 180 subscribers. Can I have K-Pro forward you my email? If Sassy says okay, I will. And then Sasha, I call her the queen of the scrapbooks. She's really, I'm sure she's good at lots of analysis, but the scrapbook, she really dives into different things, about 700 subscribers. Bill Gorman, he goes live usually after others do.
The woolly mammoth.
The woolly mammoth. So he has about 2,000 subscribers. Flip sides out there, we all know Sean. He usually has panels. It would be great to hear from him. Man in the Park has about 60 or 70 subscribers. He just did one on the lead searcher, and he just did one on Scrapbooks. He is a hoot to watch, and I just love his accent as well.
Man in the Park.
Exactly. And then Godelkin has about 55 subscribers, really is getting into different parts of the chase, and that's awesome. But now I want to get into some that may not know, some people that have been around, but I want to do a special shout out to. So Mysterious Writings, Jenny's been out there for a while. Jenny has done, obviously she gets direct words. She puts them up on her site. She just did a video on what's the first clue, what's the last clue, WWWH and the Blaze, and some reason why. She does it in about 3 to 5 minutes, which we do it in about 2 hours. She has 1,500 subscribers because, of course, we love the exact words from Forrest, but she has her analysis up there. So Mysterious Writings, go and see hers as well. Why I Must Go. He has about 700 subscribers. He did he gave a really big shout out to the community because Scrapbook 207 was updated and he put out why. So I give a shout out to anybody who puts information out that other people in the community might not know. So I want to say Why I Must Go. He has about 700 subscribers. Go and see him. And then AJ Rainville, he does things on Priddle Mondays. Which is
AJ.
all how do you figure out how to solve these things. I would like his perspective as kind of a non-Forrest Fenn searcher. And I'm down to the final 5 or 6. SS Crow. It is stoned as I'm not going to say the word.
I don't.
Yes, and they are 3 people, and if Mike, you go and watch them, you will see their pictures are very familiar from Facebook. They are just starting a channel. They only have 2 subscribers, and they've said they're going to start something for fall, and it's going to be all about the Fenn community. Okay. I have no idea if their stuff's going to be good or not, but I did a search, and they're one that came up. Then we have TO 501453, and has about 30 subscribers, and it's all about religion. And if that's what you're into, I think there's some that really believe in the religious piece. There you have it. And then Fenny Bones has some funny little cards, is doing something kind of unique. Has about 20 subscribers. Awesome. And then Coletio Van Longren thinks that this chase is cursed. And has a couple hundred subscribers, and has, I will say, these are the more
ones to me too.
Yeah, these are a little eclectic. It's KOLAETOS. That's all you have to put in, and you'll get it. Well, you put Forrest Fenn in, you'll get it. Believes it goes over the deaths, goes over some of the maybe darker side of the chase. So something to consider. And then, of course, we have the Ramon Pams and the Alan Kays and the Susies. But these are 30 different people, 35 different people that we would like you to consider. What do you think about this scrapbook or these scrapbooks? Do scrapbooks matter?
Do they matter to you? We're looking for your opinion. Yeah.
And then in the last week, why so many in 1 week? We want to hear from you. That's what I have.
And somebody mentioned the hammer in the cabin. That's obviously about you with the band hammer for Thor. See what I did
No,
there?
that is a shout out to Why I Must Go. Why I Must Go is the one that did the hammer. And somebody just said Flipside. I mentioned Flipside. Flipside hasn't done one in a couple weeks, but of course they're one of the biggest channels and
you guys know content. The big channels. We were kind of thinking more for the smaller channels. You might not know, but everybody's invited to make a video about this, and then we will post the links in Forrest Fenn's Grand Adventure on Facebook, and we will post the links in hintofriches.com. We'll start a thread, but you've got to email us, me and K-Pro, the link, so we know that okay, this person did make a response video.
And Toby just put, I agree with Mike about scrapbooks. That cannot be your 5-second video because Mike can't be right about everything because Mike thinks he's right about everything. Anyway, we hope you put a little thought into it, and this will be the fun part of what if we had 30 different opinions, or what if we had 10 different opinions? This would be a fun way to think about things.
And I agree with you, Michael O'Connell. He says, maybe I'm wrong, but I really don't think the scrapbooks will help anyone solve the location to the treasure chest. But your ideas are as good as mine. I agree with him. I don't think anything in the scrapbooks are going to help anyone find the treasure chest. The real question, more for me, is Forrest trying to say something to certain people. And I don't know the answer to that.
But wouldn't it be cool if 30 different tubers came out and said the same thing? We might actually have a consensus.
Right.
What if we had lots of different ideas, or one idea that we never considered before? Maybe somebody says the first word in every scrapbook makes this sentence, and the sentence is in the Smithsonian, or something crazy like that.
Right.
Like just something.
Well, that would be, but yeah, I mean, even if it's a conspiracy theory, you guys know I'm into that. So yeah, make a video. Let's talk about it.
And then Marty Bird says, have you ever tried to ask Forrest about how important the scrapbooks are? I answered this on the last show, but I'll answer it again. Of course, not scrapbooks, but words in general. Of course, he gave one to like with my name on it. So of course, I think they're important. He has not said anything except for TTOTC, and I have tried. You guys know, you guys have heard the audios. You know that I have tried to get different thoughts and things. He has not said for sure whether there are or not, but I don't think I've asked anything specific on this one. I've just, but look at my last, what was my answer on Monday?
The last vlog, you talked about that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
So go watch the last vlog, and K-Pro will tell you something about her opinion on the scrapbooks, I believe, right?
Yeah, there was, that exact question came up, and it was no but. There was like a but to it, and I don't remember it. Kiwi, scrapbooks, just him teaching. We all want or need to teach or learn. Yeah, just my opinion. That's exactly. I think he's kind of frustrated with us, like kind of like Terry Scan. It means get the hell out of there. Like he's doing the same thing. Like scrapbooks. Can I make it more obvious?
I think there's so many directions people have gone that Forrest did not anticipate. Like, hey, Terry Scant just means get out of there, guys. Warm water is just that, warm water. You know, we think about all these other things. That's just human nature. But Corey Jacobs says, my wife just messaged me a picture on Facebook. My book just showed up. So I'm assuming that's the thrill of the chase. And if that's the case, welcome to the hunt. Welcome for the rabbit holes. Read it in the night.
You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. Hotel California, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and so Toby and Sassy and many others agree with you. I'm a little bit more of the kitchen sink, so I like to explore all things. Okay, and we didn't want to put it exactly, but Kevin might have had a different K name originally.
Kitchen Sink Christie, that's right.
Yeah, and Codebreaker Charlie might have been like Mysterious Codebreaker Mike. But anyway, I won't. But yeah, so I'm a little bit more, okay. Mike's a little bit more linear in his thinking, code oriented. I'm a little bit more imaginative, every rabbit hole. I will say my biggest concern or my biggest struggle is specialized knowledge. How much is specialized?
Pro's a little country. I'm a little more rock and roll, but that's okay. That's why we're the good match together on YouTube, because we have these different opinions, I think.
On YouTube?
A bunch of people get together in real life. Well, but when I'm talking about the chase, when it's related to the chase, if you have a bunch of people on YouTube that all have the same opinions, well, then that's all you're going to get. I think it's helpful to get different opinions, which is why K-Pro came up with the off-season opinions, the whole thing of getting the opinions of others on different topics. Yep. And we're going to do it on Warm Waters, and we're going to do it on Terry Scan, and we're going to do it on What Are the 9 Clues, and, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, and I want to be clear, I am not the inventor of the wheel. I'm not an inventor of Try the Wheel. I'm not the inventor of Let's Get Different Thoughts. Anybody that needs credit or wants credit, I will cite you on whatever you want. I just want to get discussion going. I don't want to lose momentum. We have such a unique time. I'm so excited. What are you laughing at?
Sassy said K-Pro and Kyle, the Donnie and Marie of the Fen hunt. Donnie and Marie. I remember.
No,
they're right over here at the Flamingo. Yeah.
He wants to be like... I was going to say, with your music choices, I'm sure you're really excited about Donnie Marie.
Yeah, right.
I'm more like a, let's see.
Donnie and Marie were brother and sister, ES points out. June, there you go. Johnny Cash and June Cash.
I'm a country girl, so there's my, or Garth Brooks and Trisha. There we go.
Oh, okay.
You're like, yeah, whatever. Okay. Okay. K-Pro qualifying words on YouTube. I don't know what that means, but good. Believe the books other than TTOTC and the scrapbooks are telling us the same thing that TTOTC is. I see the same things over and over. I just can't crack them, in my opinion. Oh, Lori Barnes. I like that opinion, because then that says when a new scrapbook comes out, and there's going to be a lot of them, it sounds like, I love that idea. Let's dive into it then. Let's really discuss it. Let's not have Mike go, I don't want to discuss that because that's a rabbit hole in the scrapbook. It's not in TTOTC. We can tell him, oh, you guys ready? No, you're wrong.
You're wrong doesn't mean I'm right. I'm getting the t-shirt. Sassafras says, where was it? Oh, ignore the scrapbooks at your own peril. So that's an opinion as valid as anybody else's. So yeah. Which one's a little bit rock and roll? That would be me, I think.
That would be
embrace the rabbit hole, SC says. Try the wheel. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, is that it? Let's see. We got anything else to go over? Off-season opinions. Make your videos. I say we revisit it in 2 weeks. We give people 2 weeks to make their
week
videos.
or two. Yeah, that sounds good. So those of you that were not here earlier, Susie Fenhaven, RF Hecky, she's doing fine. She wants you to know, thank you for having concern for her, but she is doing okay. She just needs a little bit of time, so don't worry, please. We talked about all things scrapbooks. We talked about a possible Detroit meetup. If you are in the Detroit area, shoot me an email at kpro3@aol.com. Even better, Cowlazars@gmail.com, because you might say, oh, I'm here, and I'm gonna go, I don't know what that means, and I'm gonna forward it to Mike. And so
if we do a meetup, I'm thinking in Warren, 14 Mile and Van Dyke area, if anybody is familiar with that. But yeah, let us know if you're in the area and could do a meetup in November. Just reach out to us and we'll get that set up.
I'm going to Detroit. I've never been.
We will be playing some poker downtown, everybody. So that should be fun.
Oh, don't say that. That gets some people riled up. Don't.
Tough. I don't complain about what other people do. It's none of their business what we do. And if we want to put it in our YouTube videos, we will. All right.
And I will say there's a little bit of controversy out there right now in the Fenn tuber universe. Let's ignore it. Let's focus on content. This is going to bring us all together. We're so excited. Chaseopoly, I don't know if I told you guys, Chaseopoly, it's on a boat. It's on its way. It's almost here.
I found something out today. Do you want to know? You know how many boxes we're getting? Or I should say I'm getting? 84. 84 boxes. Well, you
have like a 4,000 square foot house. So that works out really well.
I'm going to have to figure this out. We may have made a critical error. So if anybody wants to order Chaseopoly, the link is somewhere. I don't know. Email us. Chaseopoly@gmail.com if you have any questions about that. But yeah, that should be interesting. The game should be here the first 2 weeks of November. So.
But if you think about it, a proportion of them are gone with it. That will motivate you to get those babies.
I've got to get them in the mail. Yeah, I know. And then I realized the flat rate boxes I have are too big, so I got to order some other boxes. I'll take care of it. I'll get it done because that's what I do.
Take care of business,
We get things done.
Okay.
Czar says, put me down for another one. All right, Czar. So, Czar, you'll probably get the first one. All you got to do is get one once it comes in. So, yeah, okay.
Who's number one? We're number one. They're not numbered, so.
Corey Jacobs says you can make a mean fort out of all those boxes. Me and the boys have already, actually. I have these flat rate, and they're like, can we play with these? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. So they did make a fort.
Okay, stop the presses.
What?
Stop the presses.
Yeah.
Sassy is 3.5 hours from Warren.
What? Oh, Sassy could actually come up then. There you go. Give you $20 for a case. Sorry, Jim.
Going live. We are going live, Sassy. From anywhere,
if we meet up, it's going to be Coney Island, everybody. And there's Chris and Eric. Thought I'd put them in the video. If we're going to meet up, we're doing it at Coney Island. The question is which Coney Island. And we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out.
It's too exciting for words. I'm going to Detroit. I've never been to Detroit. Hey, I'm going to Detroit.
K-Pro's going to have a chicken honey for the first time in her life. Anybody from Detroit knows what that is. That's right. They don't have those at the Coney Island here in Vegas.
Wow, you're speaking Chinese to me, baby.
Nah, it's good stuff. It's pita bread. You'll like it. The Warren Truck Assembly Plant. I grew up right in that neighborhood, the Warren Truck Assembly Plant. My parents live about 2 miles from there, so I know the area quite well. Okay, anything else? We will go live Monday with a brand new topic. We're going to stay focused on content. I think we need to get back to the poem.
Get back to the book or these scrapbooks. It depends on what I hear from tubers because I'm easily influenced.
On what they want us to talk about?
No, I go down every rabbit hole.
I got you.
Kitchen sink, Kevin and I are going to have a great time because
Sass, you don't know what Coney Island is? It's Chile. They're famous for their hot dogs with chili.
I agree. I told you, is it an amusement park or a restaurant? Sassy is my sister from another
Look
mister,
up Coney
just like
Island,
Shannon.
Detroit, Michigan, and you'll know the first one is there. But anyway, all right.
So fun. So fun. Say
hi
hi to Bugs. I don't even know what that means, but
either.
it sounds awesome.
Bugs Bunny. If you're going down the rabbit hole, maybe it means Bugs Bunny. Get it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there any last questions on, okay, I do want to say that we are going to get past, let me get back to my notes, 209, 210, 211, 212, 213, 214. Unless you have some specific reason. And if there's something that you want analyzed, I'm looking for some maybe new projects that we could go down some different rabbit holes. So some people had what time of year. Somebody put out last year about how many came out each month over time on the scrapbooks.
Oh, if somebody could do a chart that says this is the frequency. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Did. That was over on some other forum that doesn't exist now because they don't exist.
Oh, okay.
But
yes, somebody does run an escape room in Detroit. Maybe that should be the meetup. We do an escape room together in Detroit.
Let's do it.
And he was on the flip side. He was on our marathon, so we're going to reach out to him for sure. Maybe we can all get a discount if a group of us show up. But yeah, I don't know where. It's in Ferndale, I believe. So yeah, definitely. That could be a great thing.
Billy, message me because I know we're on Facebook together. Mike and I didn't pre-plan this, so I don't know if we want exact dates out.
We can give the general weekend or no? We can give the general weekend.
I think so.
Okay, the general weekend is the weekend before Thanksgiving, everybody. That is when we will be in Detroit. We will pick an actual day. Let me talk to, his name's Michael, right? The guy that does the escape room. Let me reach out to him.
I think so. I don't think
I can't. I get so many people mixed up. But
I want to say it's Todd Birmingham.
Oh, you're right. It's Todd. What am I thinking, Michael? Todd. Shout out to Todd Birmingham and his escape room in Ferndale. The 22nd, the 23rd, the 24th of November. One of those days will be the Searcher meetup. Let us know if you can make it. If you're serious, like Sassy, if you're serious about coming up and can make it, let us know.
Oh my gosh. We'll meet you halfway. I'll meet you halfway. Hey, Mike, I have to work one day. Toledo, because that's Forrest's thing that he says Toledo.
Now we got to go live from Toledo and say, what's 300 miles from here?
Yes, for Sassy.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, Richard says, what do you think of the chaos picture? Richard, there's something to it. Chaos and embroidery,
the dolls,
especially
right?
with the.
Yeah.
There's something to it.
So the embroidery is because somebody's going to find this thing and sew it up. I don't know. I'm reaching. I don't know.
No.
Billy Price says he's coming from Akron, Ohio. Well, it'll be good to meet you. That'll be awesome. Is Coney Island involved? I think the meetup. So I think we do an escape room, and then we all go to the original Coney Island in downtown Detroit. I think that's a perfect meetup.
I asked you if I need to get a suite. I think I need to get a suite.
Oh, well, if you want to meet in the suite, then that's a whole other situation. But all right. Adam Riley says the Blaze is a stained glass window on the second floor of a nearby building. And are you saying the sun goes through that stained glass window and points where the treasure is? I don't know. Live from Toledo. That's right, AJ. Can we go to the Hudson Cafe? I'd rather go to Coney Island. I like Coney Island.
I don't know any of these places. All I know is they have casinos in Detroit. There's some other stuff that we're gonna have to not be available for.
See Lake St. Clair, except it's gonna be cold while we're there. This is the weekend before Thanksgiving.
How
it's gonna be cold. 40s, 50s.
Oh my God.
I know, you're in North Carolina. You're used to it.
Well, no, I'm from Kansas where it was -10 and we used to run outside and have fun to see how long we could be outside. That was -10.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
But I'm born and raised in Southern California, but that's not where my heart's not a California girl. I think it's a lot. Again, I think I'm like Sassy. I think we have this treasure hunt has brought us together because Sassy was SoCal with Anyway, you have to keep me informed because I don't know anyone there, so I need a hotel. So we're so talking. The chaos is trying to keep the treasure from being found, pushing it away. Craig Carter, I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
I've seen some of that, but I don't know. It makes me. Why would Forrest procure something that would have that sort of connotation? Maybe it's a trickster. But I don't think it's keeping away.
Forrest is like the Maverick, but is that like the Coyote in Indian lore? In Indian lore is like the trickster. I don't know.
Well, that's what he's getting at. That he's a counterfeiter. He's this, he's that,
right?
Or he's P.T. Barnum, and I don't know.
Sassy, it's not going to snow before Thanksgiving, is it? She's saying it'll determine if she drives. I didn't think about snow, but I guess it's a possibility in Michigan. That's for sure. We can go play in the
know.
snow, make a snow angel. And I'll film it for you guys, too.
I have one of those snowman kits. Oh, I'll have to bring it.
Okay.
It has
All
like
right.
a nose that is a carrot, and it has the two eyes that are coal, and like the mouth and all that. Yeah, I have that. So, yeah, so it's going to be, again, it's going to be a fun off season. You guys have no idea all we have to, but Detroit meetup, Detroit. We didn't talk about this. I'm sorry, Mike. We kind of.
Yeah, it's fine. I didn't think about a searcher meetup, but why not? We're there. Plus, we have the escape room, which is going to be awesome. So, yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Lake effect snow is no joke. They measure not in inches, but feet, not kidding.
And it does get that bad. I just don't think by Thanksgiving, but I haven't been back home in a long time, so it could be.
Going back home,
It snowed
baby.
bad the weekend after Thanksgiving last year, so it's a possibility. Where we need to go is the cider mill, but I don't know if they're doing it after Halloween. That's the whole Michigan thing, is the cider mill and the hay rides. But I don't know if they're doing it after Halloween, but we can look into that.
Czar's nominating his sister and her husband.
Tell them to come by.
Who named those art pieces? Did Forrest give them those names? I have done some research, Craig, and I will say I don't know exactly. I believe they were already named, but I don't know exactly.
Chaos and what was the other one called? Embroidery?
Embroidery.
Yeah, Chaos and Embroidery. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And it's funny, though, because we've had 210, 211, 212, 213, 214 since then, but everybody's focusing on those. I do have to say I talked to 2 art collectors. Those are not open collector's items of a part of a series. So this is very unique. And
Sassy, I will say this. I can't promise, but by the time me and K-Pro come to Detroit, we should have Chaseopoly. So if you come to the meetup, I will give it to you in person. And anybody else that's in the Michigan area, if you want to buy one, I will give it to you in person. But again, I can't guarantee I'm going to have them by then, but I should.
Let me just be clear.
Yeah.
I love all the search peeps, but like Shannon and I have said, if we ever meet up, we're going to be like running to each other and like, that's how I feel about Sassy. She's so smart. She is so like, Chaseopoly will be one thing and so exciting, but I will just be excited to genuinely meet the David Blaine treasure hunting princess of the world.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we get them by then.
Are you going to see the chest at the museum?
The Detroit. Oh, I don't know if they let people see it. I forgot all about the museum. The Detroit.
Oh my gosh.
I've never been there to the Institute of Art.
We have to go live. We have to go live there.
If we could, all right, we'll plan it out. Maybe we'll do a live from the Detroit Institute of Art.
I didn't think we had a lot planned.
Now we have way too much planned. I don't know how much time we're going to have. So, well, I would ship it, Minnesota. I would actually ship it to my parents' house. I'm not bringing them. I would ship them because they're going to be in a box anyway. So I think they're 6 to a box is how I'm getting them. So.
Oh, Mike's so cute.
Do we all get to play the game together? We could do it. We could do that.
We'll do a video. We'll do a video because some people have been asking, and we tried to make time on our last visit.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, poker and some other things got in the way. We will literally do a. That could be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a possibility for sure. All right, Adam Riley.
Everybody's special, and some are. But I do have to say, and this goes to the meetup, the whole meetup concept. The whole meetup concept. If you have met searchers on forums or Facebook, it's one thing. When you sit down with them and have any sort of connection, it makes you realize we're all a little crazy together, but it's so much fun. So I have met kids, I have met other people. I've met probably now a couple hundred searchers. The last meetup had 8-9 people at it. It's so cool to meet searchers, not to share your solve. One would not say his state because that would give away everything. But I'm just saying in general, it's awesome to hear from everybody. We had the book there. We had some spouses that were there that were like, you guys are all crazy. I'm like, you're crazy. Like, it was so fun. And for all the drama that happens in the chase, when all of us get to meetups, all of it goes away.
Right.
It just
everybody's
disappears.
friends.
It's so fun. Oh my gosh, I see me highlighted.
Covert 1 is in the house. He says, Detroit, are you picking up Jeep mirror parts to fix Forrest's car? So that's pretty funny. No, we're not, but that's pretty funny. I am not considered a Youper. I grew up in Detroit proper. So, fun fact for you, I was born in Monterey, California, but we went to Detroit when I was like 6 months old. So I would have been a California surfer, but instead I grew up on 8 Mile. So things happen.
Okay,
you know.
okay. So fun fact, I didn't know who. I grew up in Southern California, or I was born in Southern California, like Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who Eminem was. 8 Mile. I didn't even know what that meant. And I'm just so terribly excited that I've now met the famous Cowlazars, and he's gonna show me his old stomping ground.
Make K-Pro watch 8 Mile, the movie. So if everybody doesn't know,
we saw it. No, we saw it.
Well, you saw parts of it.
I will not.
I showed you the
suffer
end
again.
part, which is cool. Suffer what?
No, like he did the spitting thing.
Well, for anybody who doesn't know, the mile roads, there's 8 Mile, 9 Mile, 10 Mile. What does that mean? That means how far you are from downtown Detroit. Isn't that cool? Doesn't that make sense? My buddy lives at 32 Mile Road. He's 32 miles from Detroit. You know what I mean? You see how that works? And they keep going, and then finally they stop. But that's how it works as far as the mile roads. Sassy has no clue what 8 Mile
See,
is.
this
Come
is,
on.
and look, she's only a couple hours from it. I grew up in Orange County area, Sassy, and I spent some time in Kansas, and then I'm here a hot second in North Carolina. But exactly, when Mike was like, well, I grew up in Detroit, I was like, oh, I've never been there. He's like, 8 Mile. I'm like, I don't know what that means. He's like, Eminem. I'm like, isn't he a rapper?
That's right.
And he's like,
and RR says he met Eminem a long time ago. I used to go eat at the restaurant where Eminem was a dishwasher. I mean, nobody knew who he was, but he was back there. He was the dishwasher at this place, Gilbert's on Harper, way back in the day before he got introduced to Dr. Dre.
Logic Chaser says,
yeah,
go during the day,
good,
not so much at night.
That's actually good advice. Yeah, that's true.
Okay. No, I have Mike. I'm good.
So Kiwis Road, My Life Story says, have you ever heard stories of the plates Forrest has from some of his fishing times? Well, I don't know what she means by, or he means by plates. She, I think. I don't know. I don't know what you mean by plates.
It's a he.
Oh, it's a he.
I can tell you
Kiwi.
for a fact. It's a he. Well, I don't know.
I don't know what you mean by plate, so no, I don't know what you're talking about. So.
Oh my gosh, Sassy, my dad lives in Anaheim. I grew up in Irvine. Like, okay, for all the stalker haters, like there's some information. But Sassy, like, Sassy.
Joe Sirens at about 110 Mile. Tony F says the economy's so bad in Detroit they had to change 8 Mile to 5 Mile. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good one. I live where 8 Mile turns to dirt. Well, where the heck is that at, Tim Sins? Are you in Michigan?
Wait.
Oh, you're way out there then, aren't you?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you are. And guess who else is in Michigan? Boots on the Ground. Geo Ventures is up in Alpena. Now, I don't know if he'd actually make the drive. It's like a 12, 15-hour drive. But you never know. He might.
Oh, that's a long drive.
Yeah, that's too long.
I'd love to meet him.
Yeah, to see his store and everything would be cool, too.
Oh, my gosh. That was our big rivalry, was Irvine versus Tustin. I used to run track and run cross country. And so Sassy and I are bonding.
Craig Carter, I've been to Hardcore Pawn. I had to. I've been to Pawn Stars here in Vegas. I had to go to Hardcore Pawn. So I have a picture of me and those guys of the son, Seth. Yeah, pretty fun. And
okay.
Christopher was with me. Yeah.
Can you see the differences in our upbringing? We are truly yin yang.
Water and oil. Water and oil.
I wouldn't go that far. We are like.
No, we're compatible. It's just we have different opinions. And grew up differently, that's all. Thrill the Chase, page 124, second to last line in the last paragraph. I don't have a Thrill the Chase easily accessible.
Oh, holy hell. Hold on. I got it.
Oh, and I will show this. All right, you get your book. I'm going to get a different book. I need to let you guys know about a different book.
You guys are so fun. And you know what? Somebody said to me today, and I'm gonna get into sentimental in a minute, but page 124. And I will tell you my little sentimental piece in a minute.
Hey, remember this?
Oh.
Does that look like us, everybody, or
Does
not?
that look like us? I need to know. I need to know.
It's a caricature, though. It's a cool caricature.
It's a caricature.
Of us, right? I like the Detroit
Mike
hat.
and we do so many fun things. Like,
okay.
It's
that's
gonna
not
be
what
fun.
I'm looking for. Right.
We have so many things that are in store for everyone. Second to the last line, Kiwi. Several of the wonderful color plates are for places where I fished as a kid.
Oh, plates meaning his pictures.
My father. Where I guided those others to pay for when I was a young teen. I don't know.
I have not seen those before. No, Forrest did not show those to us, if that's what you're asking me. I haven't seen them. Uh-oh, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes,
Oh,
I
you went
can.
silent on me for a minute.
I'm getting philosophical. I'm getting emotional because this is emotional. Like we're talking about like Sassy's talking about my old stomping ground. You got to go to my old stomping ground one day, Southern California. Let's see. That's like, oh, what, a 45-minute plane ride? We got to go there one day. Okay. Today my thoughts drifted in around of the new ideas. I pulled up it's called Flywater. It has been the greatest fishing spot in the western part of the country. Several of the wonderful color plates are full of places where I fish as a kid under the tutelage of my father or when. You know what? Okay, I'm going to be a little bold here. I know for a fact. I don't know for a fact.
Oh.
But I feel 99.9% if American Indians are not a part of the solve, I got nothing and I need to go home and play canasta. The other is.
Okay, go ahead. I'll give you my opinion on that, but go ahead.
The second is his father. You know what I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to. There's a very special family member man in my life. And I have said, you've had some really difficult challenges with your dad. If you were to be buried with anybody, who would it be? Your son, me, your dad? Like, we happen to be very close. And he said, Dad, my dad. And I'm like, really? Like, even though you've had challenges, he's like, there is such a bond between a father and a son, even though you might not be close like you are with a mother. I look at Forrest and how he talks about his dad, and he's the one guy that it seems obvious to me, even though he loves Skippy. God, it seems obvious it's his dad.
I will give my opinion. So in other words, we're talking about Forrest's special place. He always knew the place. Yep. It was always special. So the question I have is, did he find it when he was a kid, or did he find the special place when he was an adult? If it was when he was a kid, it's probably related to fishing. I don't think he was into the Indian artifacts, Indian history when he was a kid. He was a fishing guide in Yellowstone, right? So if he found that place when he was a kid or teenager, I think it's more related to fishing. If he found it after he got to New Mexico and he got out when he had his art gallery, that might be related more to the Indian history.
Okay, let me get really philosophical just because I'm getting a little crazy tonight. Nothing changed me like when my mom passed. I knew how special our relationship was, but when she passed, it changed my soul forever.
Right.
I know you haven't had a parent pass.
Right.
I know Forrest has, obviously. Part of me feels that even if he says he always knew it was the one spot, it may have been a parent passing that made that. But also, I haven't had a sibling pass. This is where I go into Skippy. I'm between Skippy and Forrest, one of those two, and I believe it absolutely was before. Because no matter what you build, where you become the person that you are is your sibling or your parent. I personally believe a father, because a father is so influential. And again, I might be totally wrong, but.
And then Covert One's got an interesting point. He said his dad, meaning Forrest's dad, might have named the home of Brown. I never thought of Forrest's dad having anything to do with the 9 clues, but it's definitely a possibility.
Oh my gosh.
That never occurred to me
before. As I've gone alone in there, when he buried his dad, it's a place that he's been with his dad, but now he's alone.
That could be, right? Well, that's more the place. In other words, I can understand the place is special because him and his dad went there. 2 can keep a secret if one of them said. But I never thought of the 9, I never thought of the 9 clues being related to his father as well. Like his father named one or something like that.
Redneck Express says. Feelings and emotions won't help you solve it. Follow the hints and clues only. Got to get out of the feelings. I genuinely appreciate what you just said. I could not be more opposite of the feeling that you have just said.
Who said it? I didn't see. Feelings and
Redneck
emotions.
Express.
Oh, I got you. Oh, that's a difference of opinion. That's 2 different kinds of searchers.
And I appreciate the searcher that says that. I just genuinely, it is a place that he's known forever. He's been the most eclectic, famous, rich. He's seen things that most of us have not.
Right.
But God, he has said this is what did it for him. I don't think it has to be particularly Fenny. Have you ever been a place where, I mean, my mom's the only one that's passed for me, and I'm not going to get emotional, but I will say, I remember the first poker room I'd been in with her. I know if I ever go back to that city, it is not going to be because it's the best and the brightest. I remember certain things. There's 2 or 3 different things that are so sentimental, not because they're spectacular, just because they're so amazing, because her and I experienced that. We laughed until we cried in some places. And so that's what I say.
If I had to choose the Indian angle or his father, I would go with his father. To me, and somebody just posted, he said he's
Both.
umbilically attached to his special spot.
Both.
Father.
It's both.
Yeah,
It's
well,
both.
it could be both. It's possible it's both. But yeah, I think those are good thoughts. Now, will that help you solve the poem? Maybe the it in the poem has got something to do. But again, yeah, we still have to figure out where warm water's halt.
Sure does rule out an entire state. Oh,
Why?
hold on. Can you?
Why? Was it rule out of state?
Okay. Has he been with his father to Colorado?
Well, maybe he has and never told anybody. We don't know. He has not publicly said that, true. But has he been with his father to New Mexico? I don't know the answer. I don't think so, but I don't know the answer.
Okay,
to that.
Minotaur Marino, and when he speaks, I listen. Oh, crap. Can you imagine a person, Mr. Fenn, oh, he doesn't like to be called that, Forrest. Forrest would rather find his treasure than his father or Skippy. Exactly.
And,
Okay. Denise says,
yeah, she
part
just tied
of why
it in
Forrest started this was because of his dad. He was proud of his dad, took his life into his own hands.
And Forrest was going to take his own life just like his father. So that ties into, that does tie in.
But here's the thing. No matter how much you are proud of your dad, you want your dad proud of you. When he talks about a legacy, you want your dad to be proud of you. And I do believe this is where daughters and mothers and sons and fathers, it is such a different and unique experience from my experience. Okay. It's so spectacular because it's simple, Kiwi says. Yes. And you know what? This is where I give a shout out to Kiwi. Go to Kiwi's channel. And he did something on Forrest's father today. And I think it was Kiwi's. I hope it was Kiwi's. And he put some great music to it. And it just got me sentimental into the idea. This is what we're missing. This is not some code and some this, and you go to the book and this.
Mm-hmm.
This is about a guy and his dad. Like,
I could see that.
Talk about Forrest. Like, he was a redneck from Texas, and now he's a multi-millionaire, and all he wants is to remember.
Everybody wants the approval and the love of their father. I mean, yeah, for sure.
Right. 2 people can keep a secret if one of them is dead. Forrest did this with his father in mind. He already passed. Yes. Okay. Is that his dad that was proud of him? Kiwi, that's what he wants. I think. That's what I think. I mean, this is when I get into there's days that I go very imaginative, days I go very emotional, and days I go very literal. Tonight, obviously, you get a little bit of emotional with me. And I will not say, I have shared every detail of my mom's situation with Forrest. He has not shared a lot back, but he understood a lot, and he was very empathetic, and he was a very kind human being to someone that was suffering from. I found my mom and when she had passed, so that was very traumatic for my life, and he was very, very kind. And I think part of the reason, I'm not going to say it was a hint because that would make it inappropriate or not right. He just was such a kind soul of, I'm going to go back to Toby, inflection points in your life. You have inflection points in your life. I never realized how much inflection points don't matter. Like when I got really worked up over a silly drama thing in the chase, I remember my best friend calling me and going, I'm sorry, I was there the day that you had your mom pass. Is this even close? And we laughed because we were
it makes you think what's really important.
Oh
and
my
the chase is not, the little drama that we have in the chase is not important by any means.
It's nothing. And Kiwi says, marry them all together. And this is where,
there you go.
Well, and this is where maybe Forrest has been more rich than I have been. I mean, I know that he's been with Peggy forever and ever.
And Logic Chaser points out his dad could be a clue, Eric Sloan could be another one, and Peggy is his greatest treasure. I mean, if that could all tie in somehow. But I just don't think we can get to the place without solving where warm water's halt. In other words, all this might apply. This might be how he found the special place or why it's special to him. But we're not going to figure that out without cracking the poem. So
I thought for a long time that his dad was one clue, his mom was one clue, Peggy was one clue, Zoe, Kelly, like those were the 9 clues because he was really focusing on that one. Is anything inside the chest related to his dad?
Oh, that's a good
Tom
question.
Sawyer?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know that. There is that one thing in the chest he's never told anybody. We don't know what that is.
Wait,
but
Kiwi
Forrest,
says, but Forrest shared that place with his dad to meet him at the banquet.
And that's in the book. I think he was saying after he dies, there's like a gathering. I might be wrong, but yeah, something like that. In other words, he's like when memory finally goes away, I might meet people, that type of thing. I could be wrong, but that's what I remember at the end of the Throat Chase.
I have only had
Peggy will be there waiting for me. Exactly. He's talking about when. Yeah.
I've only had the pleasure of meeting Peggy maybe twice. More than once, but I want to say 2 or 3 times, and she was a hoot. I mean, she was. We didn't get a lot of time together at all by any means. I mean, I've spent more time with Shiloh, or others, but they have a special thing. Their whole family is a special unit that. Yeah. Not a lot of people have.
Well, this is a good one. Tom Sawyer says, K-Pro, did Forrest Fenn say once that his dad would probably know where the secret special spot was? That sounds familiar, but I cannot say that Forrest Fenn said it for sure. I wonder if that'd be on Terry Scant. I thought he said something along those lines, like I think my dad might know type thing. You don't think so?
Maybe.
I'll look on Terry
Scant. I don't know that.
I just don't know.
You can look, but I don't know.
I thought there was something along those lines. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it.
Memory doesn't go away, but becomes existence with death. But so here's the thing. I don't know. It gets into too sensitive of a spot. So I'll just say when someone dies, you first focus on their death and you can't breathe. And then you get to the point where you just celebrate their life. And then that's the place that you focus on. So it's not the place that he would die. It was the place that you would celebrate because that's them. Like some personal thing.
I don't see that on Terry Scant, so we cannot make that statement.
See, Covert One says his dad would know the spot. See, that's where I just go.
People have said that. I just don't know. I just don't remember where. I've heard that, but it may be from searchers on a forum somewhere talking about it. You know what I mean?
I am not. So let me completely tangent because I'm going to cry otherwise. I am not American Indian, but both of my kids are. They're registered Cherokee Indians. And I will say he was fascinated by that. And we talked a lot about that. So that's the other piece that is so interesting. That's where I think the two married together. I believe there's a family connection to him and American Indian to him because of My War for Me, what is in the Library of Congress. So that's my own thought. When they first die, you wonder how the world will go on turning and why are people going about their business. That's exactly right. And
I will say that, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, wasn't his dad with him when he found his first arrowhead when he was 9 or 10 in Temple, Texas? I thought his dad was with him. So that, it's like special, that type stuff. But was it related to the special location? Maybe we'll know one day when it's found. Yeah. Dale Czar says, where was this place that they stashed their fishing gear in Yellowstone? Dale says he found that place and there was nothing there, but Dale did say he did find the place. So I don't know where, but he said he found it.
So Minotaur Marino asked a question. If you wrote a treasure book, would you not put a hint where that place is with your kids? I know I would. So here's the thing for me. It was very simple, and I'd love to hear your answer to this. It was very simple for me because my parents, because they were my parents, I would feel the connection there. My kids, because they've triumphed over such significant challenges that I've never had in my life. Yes, because of them having to triumph over life. What do you think, Mike? I know you're real close with your parents and you're real close with your kids. So is there, like, if you were to put a treasure chest out there, the most special place ever, what would it be? Some place you've been with Eric and Chris? Or
a place where I've been with my dad up in Sheboygan, Michigan. Right. My father started the father and son canoe trips for the Detroit Police Department. This is in the mid-'70s. I was 6 years old, and we would go for 4 days. We'd go in a canoe with tents, go down the Rifle River. We've been in like 4 or 5 different rivers in Michigan. We'd go down, camp out with the tents. I mean, no bathrooms, no nothing. We're out in the middle of the forest. And it started out with two families. My father and his partner Bob and the kids, the families, And then by the sixth year, there were 30 different families out there. And there were, let's say, some inner city Detroit people that had never been camping before, which was pretty funny to see. And it was a great thing. And that, to me, to go back to that area, that would be something I would consider if I was going to do a huge thing that I was going to do. Up in Sheboygan, Michigan. Yeah.
One of the biggest things in my younger life as a teenager, I held the state record for a certain race in track. It's interesting because I actually got invited back at my high school reunion to talk about how do you what's happened since then, which I just think is funny. But I remember when I look back at that and I look back at holding such a significant title, I do not remember actually winning the race. I remember my dad being so loud where he goes, "Go, Chrissy girl!
Right.
You got this!" And he was screaming so loud. My mom was there. My brother was there. All my friends were there. The press was there. I got in the paper. That was a big thing. All I remember is my dad.
Because he was proud of you, right?
Thing. Yes, yeah. And it was so hard. I have a very hardcore cop dad. It's hard to get his, much like Forrest dad, and he knows it's it was hard to get his approval. And so I remember that to this day when they contact me and say, "Well, you're still on the record books. Do you want to come out and talk about it?" It's the only thing I want to talk about is I finally got my dad's approval. This was awesome.
Right.
So I don't know.
I remember to thrill the chase, something that just occurs to me is when he says his father was there at the gallery and Forrest had to write a check for a painting. I think he was writing a check or he was receiving a check. I don't remember which, but his father made the comment, "That's more than I make in a year." And Forrest was like, "I didn't really know what to say," type thing. You remember that in The Thrill of the Chase? Anybody? That's what I remember it from, is The Thrill of the Chase. So it's like his father was a school principal, but Forrest became this, art gallery millionaire type person. And I wonder how they reconciled that, or if they had to, or if everything was okay, You don't remember that in the book?
No, I do, but don't you think all... Okay, so we're going to get really philosophical here, and gosh, we eventually have to go.
Yeah, well, we got 10 minutes.
Here's the thing for me.
Good. Yeah.
I believe all men, all boys, have to have some reconciliation with their fathers when they become men.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of what you're saying right now, I didn't have to have with my mom. When I became a woman and kind of went through that part of my life, and when I was getting married for the first time or wanted to have kids, my mom was just the sweet soul. I think your mom is. She just loves you to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I think the boys that become men have that oh, you're going into manhood that questions me and questions our relationship, etc. Maybe not in a conflict way, but at least in some way that it becomes different. You as a boy have a different relationship as you as a man, I would think, just like Forrest.
Yeah. Well, it also depends how you were raised, and did you have conflicts with your father, or you know what I mean? Everybody's raised differently. Everybody's relationship is different. But the chapter was father on the Banco, right? And what he said was, they just posted it. What he said it was more than he paid for his house. In other words, the check that his father saw was more than what he paid for his house. Yeah. Billy Price, thanks for joining us tonight. Yeah, I hope you can make it to Detroit too. That'll be fun. And then Minotaur Moreno said the picture of his daughters in the book, that's where he would put a clue. I mean, Minotaur's saying, I would put a clue where my kids are. He thinks there's a clue on that page. But, yeah.
And that's the double omegas. Have you seen, especially their hair?
Oh,
it's double omega. Shout out to Decall.
Wow.
Decall, I got to give you credit for that. That's the double omegas. And that he's not the first, but yeah.
And Angelo, I remember you from World Series of Fenn. He says, get back in the box, please, which to me means get back in the poem. But we will. We go on YouTube twice a week. We have time just to discuss these other things. Everybody needs thought, the right things in life. We all need to learn good things in life to teach others. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, have you ever had... Okay, I'm going to totally be a chick here. And Mike, you're probably not going to have this night. But have you ever had... I won't say a discussion with Fenn. Have you ever looked at the book and gone, that's a reflection of me and my life? And where am I going to go? What am I going to do? I don't think I've been silent about... I've thought about starting my own business. I've thought about lots of different things. And Forrest has questioned that in my life. Like Forrest's life has questioned that in my life.
Yeah. I will tell you. So first off, shout out to Wade Warman, who's $2 super chat. More than what his father's house was worth is the actual quote. Thank you for correcting me. But I'll say this: something that resonated with me more than what was in the Thrill of the Chase is the audio that Dale posted on his blog, where Forrest was talking to the reporter or the lady, and basically said some people work all day and they just get a pizza on the way home, and that's their life. They watch TV and they work, and that's me. That hit home with me because I was like, he's right. That's kind of what I do. It's like you're busy with work, and that's why I like to chase. And even if it's just us on YouTube, it's a way to escape life a little bit. So thanks for doing the channel.
Well,
with me,
so
I guess.
my last job transition, I got contacted by someone to go and run a certain business that would be totally outside something I've
totally
never
different
done before. Yeah. Oh my gosh, something totally different. And I actually wrote Forrest because he's kind of a surrogate dad to me. So I was like, wouldn't this be insane? I could do this.
I can guess what Forrest's answer was. What did he say?
Oh, he was like, so what are you waiting for? Like,
his answer was, why wouldn't you go do it, right?
Why wouldn't you? But
also, you were in a
position
to do that.
He said, this is a fork. He just said, but why wouldn't you? Because there could be so many more, but he also understood I was a sole breadwinner, all of that. So there was but he was like, there's certain people that, yeah.
And Rob G says, I escaped life from the chase. Thank you, Forrest. And I mean, I never would have been to Yellowstone if it wasn't for this Thrill of the Chase. I never would have met K-Pro. And I said it before in videos, the whole reason I started putting videos on YouTube were for my two sons, Chris and Eric, if I can point the right way. So when they grow up and they get into the 9 to 5 and they have kids, just to remind them, there's treasures out there. Like Forrest says, go get out in the sunshine. Go turn a log over and see what's underneath it. I mean, there's more to life than just a job and making money and raising your kids. Those are all important, but there's other things going on. So I hope that when Chris and Eric are older and have their own families, that either this treasure hunt is still going on or somebody does another one just as fun, and it's a reminder.
Or we do another one just as fun. This is what sparked. I mean, I was working for. I remember my first email to Forrest, where I was like, "Look, I work 14 hours a day. I'm trying to do a favor to my brother, who." We lost our mom. We don't get along very well. And he's saying, I don't trust anybody else. Come out with me. I'm 100 pounds overweight. I can't even make it a mile. What the heck am I supposed to do here? And quite honestly, I don't even know if this is real because because of some reasons. And it was like, oh, that's kind of intriguing. Like, so what are you waiting for? More hours? Like, he came back with some like zing, which was the relationship of our relationship. So it was funny that that's what happened.
But the chase changed your life by losing the weight, right? In one way, it changed your life by losing that weight.
I was going to say a lot more than that.
Right,
no,
but that's
losing
just one
the weight.
way.
And then realizing you don't just come home, sit with kids for a couple of hours, and then get back. There's no way you should be putting in 14 hours a day every day unless it's something absolutely. I really like my job, but not to the level of you lose yourself. And that's what I think he's taught me more than anything. But then it also taught me, like, my son, we go out and treasure hunt and geocache, and do you see his little face you were there when my kids were, and your kids were like, on the boots on the ground.
The boots on the ground treasure.
It's like that was just.
And that's another reminder. It doesn't have to be $1 million treasure, everybody. Just go out in nature and see what you find. There's geocaching, which are just little things where you write your name and say, I was here. It doesn't have to be $1 million treasure chest. That's why me and K-Pro at some point would like to do some kind of our own treasure hunt to get people out there. But that'll all be down the road,
Okay, Kiwi said Scrapbook 211 taught me to notice the presence of people I love in emotion and thought. Kiwi, I think that's interesting because I do have to say this was something. So Forrest said something interesting about come up with your own memoir. And so I came up with like the top 20 chapters of my life. And one of them was, there was about 5 years, maybe 4 years after my mom died, I couldn't cry. I was so numb from what had happened that I didn't cry. And I'd actually talked to a few different people. It doesn't matter who, whether it's Forrest or not. People focus whether it's Forrest, that doesn't matter. And it was interesting types of emotions. And I know that people have those extremes. I think women do more than men, obviously. And so it's interesting because I think when I get into different emotions, whether it's literal, whether it's, I get into very statistical analysis sometimes, I go into the book. When I get into my down, like I'm thinking about my mom, and in a down way or a very positive way, I'll get into the book. And I've actually made notes on the book in my different facets of life.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I know that sounds maybe crazy, but
well, it's a memoir is a reflection on your life, right? You're bringing up past memories of things you've lived through, and you kind of think about where you are now as opposed to where you are then, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Minotaur Moreno says, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, he says anybody that works more than 40 hours a week, you should own their own business, in his opinion. And while I agree with that, there's a lot of people that get into a rut of working more than 40 hours a week, and they don't think there's any way out. I mean, there's some people that don't have the entrepreneur mindset, or, you know, like the rich dad, poor dad thing. As soon as you take a paycheck from somebody, you're an employee, and you have that mindset of an employee. You know what I mean? I don't want to get into
let me go into even more crazy. I remember I was not able to have, or I didn't think I was able to have children. And I went to a fertility doctor and I went through some fertility treatments, and they just said, you're working 14 hours a day every day and you don't take a day off. Like, it's very simple. The amount of stress that you have at work, you're deciding between your life. And I was like, but I'm really dedicated and I love it. And and they're like, you need to take 6 months and actually make that break. And I remember going into my president of my company and saying, for the possibility of potentially having children, I need to take a step back. And he said to me, I'm sorry, what? Like, that's not your path. Like, your path, you're taking you have that potential. And I was like, but even though I have that potential, I really want to have like my own kids. And I'm not a negative about adoption. My husband at the time was, so I knew that this was my only option. And I didn't know Forrest at the time, but it was a crossroads. And that's when you look at, you know, it's not even what you want. It's what you want and what you have to give up for what you want. So my God, we got into philosophical. How'd this happen? Mike likes to talk about emotion. That's his favorite thing.
Well, I mean, you can get into the whole entrepreneur thing, and yeah, there's a whole different ways you can go down. But I remember the meme that's on Facebook where you see the older gray-haired guy with the Ferrari, and the guy's like, wow, the guy who works for him was like, wow, nice car. And he's like, yeah, and if you work hard and put in all your hours, next year I'll get another one. And that is, you know, you can be an owner, you can be an employee, but, you know, everybody has different histories and different paths on where they come from.
Yeah, but if you let's look at the chase. Like, I got into, this is the first time I broke away anything from work, and I have a very balanced life now, which is between work and then my kids and then the chase.
Right.
But if I have an open time, I have to tell you, it's not close for me. I will take, especially my son, where he's just, everything's bigger than life, and we will sit and talk about the chase.
Oh, yeah?
Just because he gives me such a different perspective. And he'll say sometimes, let's go do Nerf gun wars before we talk more about Forrest Fenn. That's like my two passions. But now, like, especially when I come out, like now I have many, and like poker and coming out and seeing you, and I have different passions in life. So
well, can you imagine when your son's 20 years old and you two are doing a boots on the ground together because he thinks he knows where it is? He found a spot and you guys are going to go get it? I mean, how fun will that be?
Well, but then that's when I look at Forrest and I say, okay, Forrest has his love of Yellowstone that he never gave away, his love of Santa Fe and the art, which even though he says he didn't love, I think he loved the business of it.
The art of the deal.
Then he has, Then he has the Pueblo. Then he has Peggy. Then he has his kids. He is truly this multifaceted man. Like, that's what really gets me going on which one is it? I've gone back and forth. Which one is it? I don't know. Like, Forrest, just tell us. Rule out a steak, for goodness sake.
It all comes back to that poem.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, there's a lot of different ways you can go down. But the chase has brought that out in a lot of people. I think for a lot of people, it's an escape from the problems they have or from their lives, whatever that is. The chase is an escape, especially when you go boots on the ground. I'm going to go to Yellowstone. I'm going to look for Forrest Fenn Treasure. And guess what? I'm going to forget about everything I got going on back home. and I'm just going to go take this 3-day or 1-week vacation or whatever it is. And the people that have done that and have gone boots on the ground, you're fortunate to be able to go do that.
Well, what Kiwi says, you see something mentally and you're making reality by acting on it in your own thoughts and dreams. Here's the thing. That was Ojo Caliente. I've told this story, but I'm going to say it again for 20 seconds. I sat and there was the bend and there was a fisherman and then there was a geyser that shot up some water or some hot water. And then at the far distance was Mystic Waterfall and there was a deer and I'm sure there was a bear. I didn't see it though. And then there was some draining water in Ojo Caliente. And I just thought, if I were to bury a treasure chest or hide a treasure chest, this would be it. I sat there when my brother said, no, we're not stopping. We're going to go in every hidey hole. I'm like, dude, we did this for 8 hours. I'm going to sit and just chill. This is the greatest spot on earth. I know exactly where I put my butt. My butt right there would be where I would put the treasure chest.
But isn't there 1,000 places in Yellowstone where you could, wow, this is where I would. No, not for you, but for other people, there could be.
Okay, because for Forrest Fenn, maybe it was somewhere with his dad, etc.
Yeah,
this is where I was with my brother.
Right.
After my mom passed, and I felt like I channeled my mom, and this is where Forrest knew where I was going. When I got back out of I was like, never talk to me again. I'm so mad at you. It wasn't there. Yeah. I did the walk of shame, and I was grumpy at him, and he was like, okay, I'm glad you're safe. I think that was his response. And so, no, it gave me my bonding to Forrest. It gave my bonding to a family member that I hadn't been bonded to in years and years. And we've been best friends ever since. This treasure hunt is where I am close to him now, even though he's not even a searcher anymore.
Right.
There you have it.
Right.
No.
Well, and you have that memory, you have that experience that you can have forever, and hopefully you can share it with your kids one day. Hopefully I can share it with my kids one day by going on a boots on the ground and experiencing the same thing. I mean, that's what it's about. What?
Wouldn't it be hilarious if all 4 of the kids are there at that spot?
Yeah, we all go together. That'd be cool. Because it really is about the thrill of the chase. That's what it's about. It's not so much about finding the treasure. It is about finding the treasure chest. I think Forrest Fenn did this to give people an excuse to get out and experience what he did. Well, whatever state you're in, it doesn't matter if it's Yellowstone or Colorado.
But here's the thing. Okay, I'll be honest here. Yeah. Just because we're being honest here. Cynthia, I think, always has been adventurous.
Okay.
I think she's always been out in the wilderness. How many people are like me? Like, this has put a 180 in my life. This has had me go from the desk person, overweight, unhappy, I wasn't experiencing life to, oh my gosh, this has made a world of difference. And I finally see what life means and life should mean.
Right.
That sounds so cliche, but God, I believe it.
Oh, and I believe it too. I mean, yeah, it's what it's about. I mean, it's the way to get people, it's the thrill of the chase, to experience the thrill of the chase. Everybody has their own different reaction to it. Everybody has their own personal life story related to it. But, that's why we all should thank Forrest Fenn for the thrill of the chase.
So Mike knows it's funny because the coin is my marker when I play poker, because poker is kind of that fun thrill for me. And I get to tell everybody. I've told hundreds of people about this chase. And that's the fun part of me. This is like, this is what kind of started my new life.
Hey. I'm back.
Mike's no longer there. Mike's gone.
Just doing that real quick. Yeah.
So we totally got emotion. I don't even know. This should be not what is Forrest Fenn telling us in the scrapbooks. Like, let's get philosophical and emotional about this is the emotional part. So I don't know. So what did Jack say? Because the Wiz says he's damn right. The lead searcher is a chameleon. Can blend into any
conversation.
Whatever. No, he has to know, or she has to know the philosophical. Okay. When people say, cool. I'll be honest, it makes others uncomfortable. Let's think.
Unconsciously think.
Well, when I say let's be honest, that's because I'm hesitant in sharing something, because when you really share your deep emotions and then you see another channel actually use that and say it in a very negative way, it's hard to share your emotions in a very genuine way. So I don't mean it that way. So I apologize, Redneck Express, if that's, I just say, can we be honest? Because I'm trying to get my nerve up to say something because I know I'll probably be made fun of. And part of me is okay about it, but part of me, it still hurts every time. So there it is.
Right. Well, Tim Sims says we should be brainstorming for something after it's found, a new chase. And I agree with that. I mean, it would be really cool to continue it. And that's, of course, going on the assumption it's going to be found in the next 5 or 10 years. But, yeah, you know, that we can come up with something to pay it forward. I hope whoever finds it pays it forward in some way, somehow, some way. It pays the thrill of the chase forward so that people can still be out there looking. Czar says, is there another Vegas trip before Detroit? There is not, Czar. Detroit, weekend before Thanksgiving.
But there is a Christmas trip because Mike cannot be alone at Christmas because Anna is going to come and it's going to be awesome. We haven't planned that far ahead, but Detroit is the next trip, and then something over Christmas. And then World Series of
February 15th, Valentine's Day, Sweetest Day, one of those weekends.
It is both President's Day and Valentine's Day.
So you got a holiday on Monday, World Series of Fenn on Saturday. Everybody wants to come to Vegas.
Michael.
Come on.
No, Michael, you're going to have some.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Sassafras says the hunt won't go another 10 years. Well, okay. I'll believe it when I see it, but okay.
Or it's going to go 1,000, one or the other.
I mean, people have emailed me and said, do you think Forrest is putting all these scrapbooks because he knows it's going to be found? No. Why would you think that? Well, I've seen nothing that made me think it's going to be found. Nothing any more than what's happened the last 9 years, every end of the search season, when people are like, it's going to be found. Oh, okay. But, you know, I don't see anything. Oh, cool. Is that Oho?
I don't know.
No, it's a cool hot spring, though, whatever it is.
It's a cool hot spring. There you go. There you have it. Okay.
All right. Anything else, K-Pro? I mean, we can go another hour if you want to.
No, we could go forever.
Turn it into
I
a
have
marathon.
to work. I have to work in the morning. No, I have to work in the morning.
Well, Sassy, we're not worried about monetization. She said we should live stream Chaseopoly in Detroit, but we're not worried about monetization. It would just be a fun thing to do.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're
and
going to make that happen.
Oh, no. The only way we would do it is if you were willing to answer any question related to
So the way you can play Chaseopoly, I just thought of this. You're playing against, so let's say it's me, you, Sassy, and we get another searcher. 4 searchers are around a table playing Chaseopoly. Whenever one of the other 3 searchers lands on one of my properties that has a cabin, because we use tents and cabins, I get to ask you a question about the search, and you have to answer it. And if you don't answer it, you have to take a drink. It's a drinking game. It'll be fun. It's like Truth or Dare, but it's searcher related.
You would get your, never have I ever,
Sassy said because of language. We're not worried about language. Because bad language.
I think
there's so many fun rules that we're going to come up with when the game is actually here and everybody gets it and everybody can play it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Oh, Kiwi's asking. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
What should I do another video on about the line from the poem or any question you might have? Kiwi, here's my biggest struggle, so I'm going to just throw it out there.
Never have I ever. Yeah.
What is considered specialized knowledge? I just had a debate with a searcher, and actually I'm going to give a shout out to Troy, which is why I must go. He was saying, well, if it's available at the Center of the West or the McCracken, then it's not really specialized because the information is readily accessible.
It is.
I tend to agree.
Really?
I tend to agree, except for advanced philosophical or mathematical models are open. So specialized knowledge.
Wait, what?
Specialized knowledge.
Okay, go ahead.
That's one. And the other one is how it's hidden.
Oh, how is the treasure chest concealed?
Is it buried? Is it not?
Right.
How
what is the blaze? It could be an interesting one. But for me, specialized knowledge, and somebody I think sent this to me in email or said it in one of our shows, where they said specialized knowledge is something you needed to go to school to learn. Forrest being a pilot, that's specialized knowledge, right? A normal person wouldn't know that because I haven't been to pilot school. I don't know the history of the Indians like Forrest does because I haven't been to school for that. And it may be self-taught, but Forrest has a lot of books and he knows a lot about Pueblos and Pueblos and all that kind of stuff. So I think that I kind of agree with it, but I think it could be more.
Yeah, but the only reason I say possibly no, and I'm not going to say no, but possibly no, is I was there when Jason Dent, who is a high-ranking military person, and Forrest, who was a military person.
All right, let me get the mute button ready. Go ahead. No, I'm just kidding.
You would have thought that those two were speaking just like like kindergartners. They were just BFFs. They were just talking about stuff. They were not talking about it in such a way that it was specialized knowledge, even though I struggled and had to patch things together because I had none of that knowledge. I didn't have a
military. That would be specialized knowledge because you haven't been in the military.
Well, but I don't know if Forrest would have considered that. Like, yes, advanced aviation or this or that.
People are putting in the, like somebody said, brain surgery is specialized knowledge, right? But people are putting in the chat, all you need is the poem and the Thrill of the Chase book. That's what Forrest has said. All you need is the poem and my Thrill of the Chase book. So I don't think he would design it.
Why haven't we solved this damn
because
thing?
We're overcomplicating it. Forrest said to simplify.
Quit overcomplicating
Terry Scant with Marvel Gaze means gets the hell out of there. Gets the hell out of there.
Okay, so
if you've been rising from the blaze means live down, there's the chest. But we go off in 100 different directions. Warm water is physically warm waters. You're all
try
wrong.
The wheel thing. Much more. You're wrong.
And remember, just because you're wrong doesn't mean I'm right. What?
Try the wheel is wrong. No, I don't want to offend Samuel Smith. I want to offend you.
I'm going to the mall this weekend, and I'm going to have a couple of fun T-shirts made. So if anybody has an idea for a T-shirt that I wear on a future show, email me. Cowlazars@gmail.com. So I'm going to go have a bunch made this weekend.
I have. Okay. Okay, Silver Fox agrees with me. That's all I need to know. And then Sassy says, agreed, my son forgets. I can't figure out the trajectory in my head because I wasn't a Marine. He just does it and forgets where he learned it. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like they were talking like some things were very basic where it just wasn't in my wheelhouse of knowledge. See, wheelhouse
right.
Wheelhouse of knowledge. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that helped me realize because periodic table that's readily available, so that should be. And I don't know. I don't know.
When the solution comes out, I think we're going to be talking about it for years, to tell you the truth. If the solution is actually published, and yes, this person found it, here's the proof. Forrest said
I like
all
Tony
that.
Russi's question.
We're going to be talking about it for years.
Look at Tony Russi's question. Answer that, my love.
Why do you have to get the hell out of there? And people have asked me this too. I think you have to get the hell out of there because you're looking at $1 million plus in a 10-inch by 10-inch box. So in other words, it's get out of there. Don't hang. There could be somebody walking up behind you. There could be other people in the area. Remember, people have been within 500 feet. They didn't know. They didn't know about it. Get it and get out of there. You know
I do not
mean?
believe it's because it's illegal. I don't think it's because of
on
death.
Private property.
I don't think it's because of private property or Indian. I think it's because you've got several $1 million.
Right.
Think about the hate we get for a couple $100.
Yeah, but this right here. Right.
Literally on people donate stuff and they can.
Right. It's because of human nature. That's why you Terry Scant with Marvel Gaze. Get the hell out. Take it and go. Yeah,
I agree.
And don't tell your partner that's in the car. Just say I didn't find anything.
Should I not
Open the
tell
trunk.
you? I haven't told you all the stuff that I'm finding. Should I not tell you?
Oh, is that right? Oh, well, we can go boots on the ground together. So I'll be the lookout.
Right, but do I leave you in the car? And if I find it, what do I do?
We go live as soon as we get back to the hotel room. We tell everybody,
oh my
look,
God, this is why.
This was the one thing in the treasure chest. This is the title. Look, everybody.
Yeah, if Forrest then put out, it's been found, they're playing Chaseopoly, does that give it away?
Okay.
Okay.
How many people have also mentioned you that they're so... No, never heard of that one, Adam, and I really don't know what you're talking about. But everybody's got their own opinion, so...
How many people have also mentioned to you that their saw also include a lake with a little island? Decal. One.
Oh, the
maybe
salamander
some others,
thing?
But
yeah. And then the whole coin thing, I'll just say this, you can love me or hate me for the coin thing and how I went about it and all that stuff. But much like Forrest Fenn, my shadow isn't cast by a fool either. So I had the idea, I made it happen. They're out there in the world, period. That's it.
Well,
and now they got other things. Yeah.
Let's look at Forrest Fenn. He resold people's, and even...
Right. He's a businessman. He gets it.
Yeah. So I think it's fine. And somebody asked me, because somebody's reselling the books, and they've got Forrest do some custom doodles, and they're selling them for almost $200. And I'm like, if the market bears that, that's not what we do. I think you could have sold those for much more. But anyway,
I should have sold them for much more. But hey, speaking of books, I need to show this book right here. You guys may be familiar with this, The Secrets of San Lazaro Pueblo by Forrest Fenn. So a searcher sent me this, and a searcher wants me to sell it for them. And I'm going to. And they said, we'll split it 50-50. So I'm going to put this book on eBay, but I want to show you guys something that's really cool.
Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
you show the cool stuff.
This is a limited edition. The first edition is limited to 2,000 copies, and this is number 1,698, and it is signed by Forrest. So this book is out there without it being the first edition, but this one's the first edition. And it's really a cool book, and I'm just letting you know that it will be up on eBay. Unless somebody out there, now there is a little bit of water damage in the corner, I see as I'm looking at it right now. But, yeah, signed by Forrest, numbered from the first edition out of 2,000. So, unless somebody wants to buy it and prevent me from putting it on eBay, but you can email me at cowlazars@gmail.com. But there was a searcher that just said, yeah, sell it and let's split the money, and that's what we're going to do. So, there's only one edition of that book. I thought there were, no, I've seen on eBay there's ones that are not numbered. So I don't know if that means it's the same edition, but I know there's copies that are not numbered, I thought. Yeah, that's Patina. That's right, Kiwi. That's Patina. So it's really a cool book. I've glanced through it. I've not read it. But I also know that some people think in here shows how the treasure chest is concealed. Does anybody know what page it is so I can show it? You know the one I'm talking about. They think this is how, or something similar is how Forrest concealed the treasure chest, but I don't know what page it's on. Oh. It's the Indians in the Pueblo and all that fun stuff. All right, anyway, that's out there if anybody's interested. And then that was the Pueblo. He's got a little map and stuff. And if you think the treasure chest is in San Lazaro, you're wrong, and don't contact me. I'll get in this book. All right, anyway.
If I want to buy it, do I get a discount?
Yes, that is correct. All right, everybody. I think that's going to do it. You want to go, hey, the football game's over. All I'll do is give you the thumbs up.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know what that means.
You know what that
Shame
means.
on you. Oh,
Okay.
Now Zara's going to go, woohoo. Yeah, okay.
I took the under in the game, Czar. You should have took the under. Okay. Yeah, that's it, everybody. We went 2.5 hours, and it goes by quick.
God, what happened?
Searcher meetup in Detroit the weekend before Thanksgiving. If you think you can make that, email me or KPro, and we will come up with a time, and we will come up with a place. We got about 1 million things to do while we're there. I'm thinking escape room makes the most sense, but we'll see. I believe still.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, Craig Carter has the book too. So I don't know. I just thought I saw one on eBay that did not have the number, unless they just didn't show it. But I could be wrong. I have no idea what this book's worth. I'm just putting it out there. If anybody's interested, to email me. Corey Jacob says, thanks for having me. Hope you all have a great off season when it starts, and we'll see you soon. All right, Corey, thanks for joining us. And thanks everybody for joining us. And thank you to the 26 people that have thumbs up this video.
Yeah. Boys, we could do the boys versus girls.
In the escape room. Not many people show up.
Them. Yeah, that'll just embarrass them.
I'll have a little talk with Todd before we do that.
Here's the big thing. Go out to the different channels that we talked about tonight. Yeah. There's a lot of new people out, and if you're considering one, you don't have to put your face out there, but consider just having some good discussion out there. We're going to have another marathon soon, but we'll revisit this, and I'm going to try to hit up the different tubers and say, hey, consider this. We think it would be fun just to get different ideas. So thanks everybody for being here.
Yeah, make your video, email it to me and KPro. You've got 2 weeks. We're going to talk about all the videos 2 weeks from tonight. So that Thursday show, which is actually Halloween. 2 weeks from tonight is Halloween, so I don't know if we're going to do a show because there is some trick-or-treating and things that need to be done. But we'll figure that out.
Do it in the next week. Do it in the next week.
Gotcha. So only 1 week to make the videos?
Yeah.
Right. We'll see. Okay.
You don't need more than a week. Come on. It's like 3 to 5 minutes, like a couple minutes. Come on. I'm going
to show this as we go out. I do want to show this. I want to thank everybody who has subscribed. We did hit 3,000 subscribers. Oh, if I can only find what I'm looking for. I'm going to show you guys a cool thing. Okay, here we go. I'll take us out with the song. Do I have the song? You want to say anything before we go, KPro?
No.
All right, everybody. We will see you next time, which will be Monday night, 6 p.m.
Cowlazars, 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 Cowlazars. Come on, let's have some adventures. We'll spend days, we'll spend weeks, we'll spend months working our way through treasure hunts. Cowlazars. Cowlazars, 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 Cowlazars. Mike drinks coffee a ton, feel free to send him some. Cowlazars, 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 Cowlazars. Watch Mike once, you'll wanna watch him again. James Frey once called him to talk Forrest Fenn. Cowlazars, you cannot go wrong. You could even say bovine photons. Now let's get going on the double. Let's talk treasure hunts. Let's talk puzzles. Cowlazars, 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 Cowlazars.
Thanks, everybody. Subscribe to the channel. It's free.